Listen up, I gotta tell you, there is something you should know. I have never really liked you at all. I cannot hide it anymore. I've been thinking about the future, trying to forget about the past. So many ways that I could change for the better. Don't
This is a true crime discussions channel. We speculate. This is all just speculation. Because it's true crime, it's for mature audiences only. There will be no children allowed, no exceptions. Everything on this channel falls under fair use. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. It's free.
Hey, y'all. It's so good to see you this Monday. Hold on. Let me get a sip of my coffee. I'm so glad y'all are here with me. I missed y'all. Hello, Annabelle. Scratch the Paint, Peach, Tampa Bay, Joyous Inn, Genevieve, Jenna's Gypsy, Edith, Joy, Chloe Moon, Jenny Jen, Southern Cats, Hannah UK, Jeepers Creepers, Cajun Juju, Gray Moon, my love, LJ, Nightbot is here, Rubber Ramada, Nene Nut, Julie, good to see you, Cracker Jacks, Princess Pillow, Annie, enjoy again, Annabelle, sorry. It's good to see y'all. I'm so glad y'all are here. Hey, Boomer, good to see you. Good to see you. So, I have a couple of things to discuss with y'all today. I will drop the link in just a minute in case anybody wants to come up. Hey, the Gardening Divas, good to see you. We're going to talk about what I think Stephan's defense is going to be, especially now since these jail calls are out. I don't know how the defense team would roll with anything else because that's his story. We know what his story is. We know what he's going to say in court. Hey, Amanda, we know what he's going to say in court. This is going to be his story. This is what he's going to say happened. So we're going to go to the jail call first. I spent all morning getting timestamps. So we've got the timestamps and we're going to roll through all of this and see what is being said. If we can, first, we're going to find out what he's saying happened. So let's go there. Amanda, I said you early. I knew you were coming. So when I said Amanda talking about Annabelle, it's because I already knew you were coming. Lori, good to see you. Genevieve said, always remember when speculating is not a conspiracy theory if you have enough resources and documentation to support a hypothesis. Excellent point. If y'all don't mind, please hit the thumbs up and we will go ahead and jump into this jail call. We're going to go to
7:40.
6 minutes in, and I'll probably play the rest of this one.
If you believe that you are the victim of sexual or physical abuse, press star 90.
You know, I left that there. Somebody commented last night, he needs to press star 90 because he's always the victim. I found that to be hilarious. We also have some stuff we're going to do on the family, on his parents over the next couple of days. I want to go back to their interviews and talk about some things. All right. So, hey, Donna. I hope we have a great show. All right. So 6 minutes in, let's listen and see what he says. What is his defense going to be? Hey, Big Pat. Oh, thank you.
All right. So, yeah, I got the news earlier and told my attorney that I'd try to call you this evening, but you guys should hear it from her before you hear it from the news in case I can't get a hold of you. Yeah.
Yeah, we're expecting
I did it.
a little bit of blowback from that.
Yep, I'm sure there's going to be a little bit of ruckus and some people getting riled up. And I'm cooking ravioli that I got to. Sorry, caught me in the middle of cooking here, so I'm going to walk out to the kitchen. No worries.
We're talking about damn ravioli right now. Okay. Number one, it's not a really good idea to talk about to somebody who's in jail about what you're eating. That's not real nice. I'm just saying.
I guess I took the news pretty well, though.
Well, did you? Considering you did it. Hey, Shelly.
Well, okay, that's good. I'm just remarkably calm about it.
Yeah, I bet. Hey, Ever Love Me, Sue Joy, and Shelly Stoned. Good to see you. Okay, let's see. I'll Google it. And that led to Maddie's demise. Okay, let's see what that is. SOMNO. Oh, hold on. You can't see. SOMNOPHILIA. Okay. Somnophilia, coined by John Money in 1986, generally refers to a sexual interest in engaging in sexual activity with a sleeping person. Other definitions have been since offered, although they tend to be inconsistent. Let's see what it says about, is it against the law? People who have somnophilia may not wish to cause harm or force violence on someone, but they receive sexual arousal and orgasm by intruding on and touching or fondling a sleeping person. If these urges are acted on as part of a consensual fantasy scenario, this can be perfectly safe, fun, and legal. But when you involve an effing child and substances, yeah, it's illegal. Hey, Roxanne, good to see you. You think they're speaking in code? For real? Interesting.
About everything. I had this overwhelming sense of peace and serenity, and I don't know, maybe that will change, maybe it won't. I don't know. I'm just, weird as it sounds.
For some reason, your company thought that we were right around the corner, I guess, less than an hour from Orlando, and I said, we're 3 hours.
So, I mean, our understanding and impression is that you.
Before this goes into it, I am going to let you know that I am taking notes today. This will be a note-taking day if y'all want to take notes. Hey, Lulu, good to see you. Genevieve said maybe ravioli references package. They look like little packages. Maybe. Possible speculation. Hannah said Stephan Stearns is just a hideous individual who's been spoiled his entire life and never had to take accountability for anything. In my opinion, his parents are partially to blame. I agree with that statement. That may be the reason why he says it wasn't premeditated. Interesting. And Shelley said, I never knew that he even had a name. I never knew that even had a name, and I don't know what to say about that. I'm shocked. I'm pretty shocked too. Hey, Michelle. Basil is, I think he's under the kitchen table today.
You didn't do this, so why do you feel at peace and serenity with it?
I don't know. I guess whatever happens, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, are you going to be accepted? Going to be the fall guy for this? Is that the deal?
Well, I think between that and the prospect of spending the rest of my natural life in a very miserable place before I eventually die alone with no one to care about me or give a shit that I've passed on, I don't know. I think.
Well, I mean, I think whoever's involved in this needs to have justice served on them. I mean, if you're not part of this, then let's get that cleared up. I mean, it's not for you, but for the family.
I'm pretty positive that this was all an accident. I'm not sure that any one person is to blame. Maybe no one's to blame, or maybe everyone's to blame a little bit. I'm not sure, but honestly, there's no grand conspiracy here to hurt her.
Were you awake when sent her into the room with you?
Yeah.
So he's saying right here, I'm not sure one person is to blame. I'm not sure that we can blame anybody, and they're going to go into detail about that night. They're already saying you shouldn't be the fall guy and you shouldn't take the fall for this if you're not the only one, implicating Jen Soto.
And she was fine when she came into your room? What time at night was that?
Maybe maybe 11-ish or so. I'm not sure.
Okay, so she was fine. So what happens between 11 and whenever you found her?
Well, that's the $1 million question, isn't it? She went
Yeah.
to sleep.
I mean, when you say you were out of the room for what length of time were you out of the room?
So, okay, that's the $1 million question. What happened when you were out of the room? That's the $1 million question, implicating something happened to Maddie when he was out of the room. Okay, so that we know that's going to be part of his defense. Let's continue on.
I don't know.
15 minutes?
No. I mean, I left the room a couple times. The first time I left to go to the bathroom, and second time I was out of the room for maybe a couple hours or so, maybe more. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay. Well, that was plenty of time for the one-armed man to do it.
Well, without getting into too much detail, she was acting kind of weird before she went to sleep, so I don't know what was going on there. But,
Acting weird, like having difficulty?
just strange behavior, acting loopy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Acting loopy. Okay, something happened while he was gone. She's acting loopy. He was gone for multiple hours that night. It's so far his defense. Yeah, no wonder they told him to stop talking, right? Genevieve said, when Jim walked into that room and see Madeline unresponsive, it immediately imprinted passing blame on someone other than himself. Yeah. What's the reference to the one-armed man? Basically saying, we say the ghost of Christmas past. So basically you're lying. So I'll say if the kids, if I find a stolen soda or something, that's not their soda that they get, then I'll say who stole this and who took it. And all of them will say at the same time, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. And I'll say, oh, so it must have been the ghost of Christmas past. It's kind of the same thing. Basically being a smartass. Princess said maybe to imply she took something during that time. Yeah, I think that's what he's implying. And we're going to go more into that. His stupid voice, I agree. Jeepers said he's standing by Jim because he knows in his heart it was his fault, but he's taking the only way out, which is his parent saying it's her fault. He jumped at that opportunity because he's a manipulator. Yep. He already said he gave her an extra dose of meds. Yeah, he did say that before.
So I'm not sure.
Could you have been drugged?
I honestly can't get into too many details just because I don't want to hurt my case, but I have some suspicions in that regard. Whether it was given to her by anyone or whether she helped herself, there are reasons to believe she may have done that as well.
Okay, so she was drugged or she took the medicine herself.
But
I can't.
okay.
Obviously, can't get into too much detail because
No,
I'll stick
I
to
know.
the case, and my attorney will tear my throat out with her bare teeth if I flap my lips too much.
Okay.
Well, you must be flapping them to her.
I'm giving notes to her. One of the social workers whose specialty is dealing with people who are looking at the death penalty. She'll be here Monday, so I'll pass some more notes through her to my attorney, Alicia, and I guess some more lawyers are going to be hopping on board at this point. There's going to be a whole team working on this. But
Four more attorneys.
it's going to be an all hands on deck kind of thing.
Well, I had a long conversation with them today, so I just.
Please keep Hio in your prayers. I'm sorry, I've had a lot going on just a second as I started the live. She's got a lot going on today. So please say a prayer for her, and I hope you're doing okay. Text me later. I've had a lot going on today as well. I'm glad to hear that you're doing okay and everything's okay. Rubber said, sorry, cows are out on the freeways. Okay. You be careful there. I did drop the link. Okay, so basically he found her unresponsive. She was drugged or did it to herself. I was writing that down. And then we know from a later phone call, he says her lips were blue. She was ice cold. And she was pale, I do believe is what he says. Oh, y'all are so sweet. Thank you for that. Hannah said, in my opinion, if Stephan had solid proof that Jim was involved, his attorneys would have given the DA to get him out of the death penalty. I agree. Why don't his parents ask him, okay, let's first talk about the CSAM. Tell us how many years you've been doing this to Maddie and why. A great point. Linda said he overdosed her, and when she expired, he made it look like a crime when found. The tox report will show it. I think that's a possibility. And he's saying that there's not one person to blame, that somebody drugged her or she could have done it herself.
There's some things that cannot be passed off as you didn't do it. As you know, there's too much evidence to it, but.
So there she's kind of making him take accountability by saying that, you know, there's too much evidence that you didn't do the CSAM. They've got a lot of evidence saying that you did. Quicksilver, I pulled up my jail records and it showed that they were still putting money on his books as of January 11th of this year. So I don't know. If they cut off communication, I would say it's because the lawyer told them to, because they spill way too much in these phone calls. This is about the only defense he can go with because of these phone calls, because of everything that they say in these phone calls. He's going to have to go with this defense now. He left his attorney not much to work with. Jeepers Creepers said, we have the right to speculate Jen is somewhat to blame, but the parents blaming Jen and Jen's family for this is beyond disgusting. Exactly. I agree 100%. Hey, Kimmy. It's good to see you. Carla's Painted Dogs. Good to see you. I'd be loopy if someone had given me too much medicine. Yeah, me too. But we still believe it's Jen's family's fault. Shut up, Tiff. Donna said, can the feds come in with charges over the pictures and videos being transmitted? I'm not sure. I'll have to look it up. I'm sure they could if they wanted to, but I think Florida's got it pretty much under control, in my opinion.
I told them, I said, you're still my son and I don't hate you. And I do not believe, in my heart, I do not believe that you killed that child. You loved her too much and she loved you. And I just don't think it happened that way. So if it was an accident.
We had a lot of wonderful plans for the week and we were all looking forward to it. And we were all very happy to be reunited. It had been months since we'd all seen each other. And there's no reason that I would have given all of that up for literally no reason to hurt her and trade it all in for this.
No, there isn't. But there's jealousy on the other side too. I mean, if she told you, I hope you don't leave me for my daughter, that tells me that she was thinking about that for a while.
Well, it was said half jokingly, but
I hope you don't leave. Okay, let's take a side street over here and dive into that. If she was jealous and was like, I hope you don't leave me for my daughter for a while, then whatever she just said, why are we jealous over the abuse that Madeline's suffering? What the fuck do you mean by that? Like, if she was jealous and thought you were going to leave her for her daughter, I could see something happening. What the fuck was that? Like, why isn't it, if she knew what was going on, what you were doing to her daughter, why didn't she say something? Why didn't she kick you the fuck out? Like, why were you doing that to her daughter? But no, we're going to go with she was jealous of Maddie because you were interested in Maddie. Excuse the fuck out of me. No, ma'am. Straight to fucking jail. Straight to fucking jail. Jesus, take the wheel. Drive it straight off a cliff. Good God. After the shit he did that he needs to own up to, he loved her. Yeah, exactly. He loved her. You loved that child too much. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, sincerely go fuck yourself, Deb. I'm sorry, but no, ma'am. What's derivative use immunity that she got was only for a 1 hour and 4 minute interview. I want more of that, and I don't know if I'll be able to get it until court. Deb asked if Maddie was the only child he was interested in, not what the hell made you think it was okay. Another great point, Jen. Jen, does anyone think the parents' mind have changed since these calls? Well, we're going to dig into that because the interviews they did online were after these calls. I believe they take place in September. So we're going to look into that over the next couple of days.
It's one of those again, I don't want to go into too much detail, but it's just, there's a lot of shit going on, you know?
Yes, I do. I have nightmares imagining what you're living right now.
I'm okay.
And
it sucks.
I'm happy that he's limited that. I have nightmares imagining what Maddie went through all this time. Mom should be in jail. She should. She is absolutely the reason that he is the way he is.
It's just a terrible place, and I've heard other inmates in the cell next to me talking about it. You know, those that have been in and out of correctional institutions their whole lives, and they say of all the county jails they've been to, this one is by far the worst.
Well, actually, Rebecca said that today too. She said they are much more paranoid and they're stricter than they would have been in Orange County.
Yeah, they don't regard your rights as being as too important here either. They don't treat you like a human being. They're very antagonistic here as well. And mental health can hold you in these cells in isolation against your will for as long as they want to under the guise of self-harm protocols.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Even if you qualify for bail or bond, they can just keep holding you here and not let you walk free until they're, quote unquote, decide you're not a danger to yourself, and they can decide that for whatever reason they dream up.
Yeah.
It's all very, very murky.
Yeah, the whole thing is murky right now.
Yeah, a lot of people lose their minds in this place.
Well, I can see that happening.
Yep. And, you know, I hear and see people that go into these isolation cells like I'm in, they start losing it completely and breaking down after 2 or 3 days.
Well, you're stronger than that.
Yep, I've been in here for over 3 months now in isolation.
Yeah, I'm working on that video now. That video will be out later today on my page, Debut Crew, where she's talking about, well, maybe Maddie's visiting you with the flash of lights and hallucinations he says he's having. And the fact that he's stating he found her deceased. She says the most hypocritical stuff, just waiting to hear her talk about his friends that are stupid and jealous of him. I was like, huh? Right. Exactly.
And I've never once lost it like that, so.
But you know what? Truth be told, you've never been one that needed to have people around you. No. You didn't need it. It's nice to have them, but you don't need it.
You know, it's just.
Yeah.
I just keep telling myself that there are people that have survived worse than this, and this is not going to kill me, and this is not going to break me.
Okay. Don't let it.
No, I won't. I'm determined not to.
Know that we're here.
And I keep telling myself.
I understand that if we can get this car sold, or we can get some money for your account here, I understand that you can actually.
Hey, everybody.
Maybe pay $5 to see a movie or something on those tablets.
I don't know about that.
It's like a penny. I don't know if it's a penny a word or what it is with the text messages.
Okay, I don't know that there's much more in this. I'll play the end because it'll be a videos that'll make us feel a little bit better. Hobby said he hasn't said a single time that he doesn't deserve to be locked up, or did I miss it? I don't believe that he does. I don't believe that he does say that a single time because he knows he needs to be there. Yeah, he knows that he did this shit. He knows that he knows he did at least the CSAM, right? Like, I will not know if Jennifer had something to do with the homicide or whatever they're saying, right? We won't know that until trial, or if we ever do know that. But we're going to travel down the road of Maddie possibly doing this to herself, like he's implying, and see what we can find out about the time period before this, right before this, how she was, what she was saying, what she was doing, what her friends and teachers said. I've got a bunch of timestamps we're going to go through, and we're going to travel down that road. Let's get some relief from this phone call real quick.
Okay. Love you.
Love you too. Bye.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Motherfucker, I hate this motherfucker.
No, Sam, that's not how we do it. Let me show you how we take care of the creature. Let me show you how we take care of the creature. Go, Rita!
I don't know about y'all, but that makes me feel a little bit better. All right. Okay, so he's saying that he found her that way. Lips were blue. She was ice cold, pale. Those things don't happen at the same time, by the way. Lips blue is going to happen pretty much right after strangulation or suffocation. Ice cold happens about 12 hours later. And then we also have the jealousy of her daughter. Let's go. Before we go down the road of possibly Maddie doing this to herself, let's go down the Woody Allen comment road, because I want y'all to fully understand what they are referencing when they talk about the Woody Allen situation. So we're going to go here, and we are going to jump to 3202. And we're going to hear what Jen said about it. And then we're going to watch a short 3-minute video, and I'm going to get my trigger warning up because it's all going to be very
go sleep together.
I did.
triggering. I'll take it back to 3115. All right, I'm giving you another trigger warning. This is going to be very triggering.
She's gone upstairs to sleep with him alone because I wasn't comfortable with it. I was like, no, this it doesn't look right. Like, it just doesn't seem right. Like, I'm not comfortable with it. Maddie, you got to sleep with me. And I told them that. But there were times that they begged for sleepovers. Like, please, we just want to stay up late watching movies. And I would be too tired to stay up late. So I would say, fine, go ahead and do it. But just this once, like.
When did you start becoming comfortable with it?
I don't know if I was ever comfortable with it.
First of all, if they're asking for sleepovers, they need to do that in the living room. Why couldn't they stay up late and watch movies in the living room where everybody could see them, where, you know, they're out there where nothing can happen. You know what I mean? She doesn't answer.
But you told them to go Sunday night to go sleep together.
I did. That was a selfish move on my part because I wanted a good night's sleep. I didn't want her kicking me or rolling onto me or waking me up or to hear her alarm so that it woke me up. I wanted to keep sleeping until I needed to sleep because I just had not, with my training schedule, I have not had a good night's sleep. My medication was out of whack. I was feeling funny and not like myself. And I knew that I needed another night's sleep and my medication in my body, like ASAP, so I needed to go to bed. So I wasn't even comfortable sending her that night, but I just did it for my own selfish reasons.
Okay. Did you know?
It's redacted. So, here we go.
He's never said anything to you or anything about it.
If anything, I've always told him that my biggest fear is that this would turn into a Woody Allen situation where the stepdaughter or the dad grooms the child and the child.
Notice how she said the stepdaughter she was about to say the stepdaughter falls in love with the stepfather, and then she changes it to the stepfather grooms the child, which is the accurate description of that situation. But at first she said the stepdaughter falls for the stepfather. And Deb just said that's referencing Jen being jealous of Stephan abusing Maddie. Laura in Michigan just became a member. Thank you so much for that. And welcome to Speculation Station. That was so very sweet and supportive of you. I will grab the crazy train and pick you up on the way to Speculation Station. Thank you so much for the support. I'm going off the rails on a crazy train. Thank you so much. That was so very sweet of you.
Child turns 18 and ends up running away with him. I told him, like, that was my biggest fear, and I don't ever want that happening. Like, you can't do that to me. Like,
why would you say that?
Okay, I'm going to take it back because I paused it in kind of a weird spot. The child ends up running away with him, and you can't do that to me. Not you can't do that to Maddie. You can't abuse Maddie like that. You can't do that to me. Hey, Bogart. I pushed play. Oh, it was the redacted. Okay.
He's never said anything to you or anything about it.
If anything, I've always told him that my biggest fear is that this would turn into a Woody Allen situation where the stepdaughter or the dad grooms the child, and the child turns 18 and ends up running away with him. I told him, like, that was my biggest fear, and I don't ever want that happening. Like, you can't do that to me. Like,
why would you say that to him?
Because I never trusted. I grew up being told never trust a man. My mom put that in my body. Never trust a man. And, like, I did not completely 100% trust the man, but in my years, nothing's happened. He hasn't shown you anything that he's weird or that he's done it.
He did show you something that was weird, or you would not have had that fear, ma'am. Okay, so we're going to jump to this that was dropped in my Discord last night. I'm going to give you a very heavy trigger warning because I cried when I heard it. We're going to watch the real Woody Allen situation. This is going to be a phone call. Okay. So I don't know where this comes from. It appears to be off of TikTok. I'm going to make this, or we're going to watch this real quick, and then we'll jump back into everything else. But let's talk about the real Woody Allen situation. And again, I'm going to remind you before we watch this that Deb thinks that Jen's jealous of the relationship that Stephan and Maddie have. Basically, that Stephan is abusing Maddie, and then Jen references it as the stepdaughter running away with the stepfather when she turns 18. Because the stepdaughter is attracted to the stepfather and then changes it to grooming. Now, this is the real Woody Allen situation. This is a picture of Woody Allen and the little girl he abused. And we're going to listen to this phone call. This is going to be hard to hear. I'm letting you know now.
Because you will not let him get. You have to wait beyond that now. What you've done to Suni, what you've done to Dylan. What you've done to Dylan. Dylan's a baby. How could you do that to her? I don't know anything of the kind. I know what Dylan tells me.
This is an accurate reaction.
You told me nothing but lies. Dylan tells the truth inconsistently. No, I don't know that, Woody. I've always been worried about you and Dylan. And I didn't know the doctor had to report this to the authorities. I didn't know that. I went just to be sure she was all right. And she's not all right, Woody. She walks around the house holding her vagina. She sleeps with me. She's scared of you.
This, as chilling and upsetting as it is, this is an accurate reaction. Yes, this is Mia Farrow.
And you hurt her. I feel pretty guilty myself that I wasn't there to protect her. She said, Mommy, you didn't help me. She said, Daddy shouldn't have done that. He shouldn't have hurt me like that. If you hurt her, you would weep inside. And you would just want to be dead. Because I don't know how you can live with what you did. I don't know that, Woody.
And then you got these stupid ass people over here talking about the stepdaughter attracted to the stepfather, and then Deb is blaming, saying, oh, that Jen's jealous of the relationship that Stephan had with Maddie. Give me a motherfucking break. That's the accurate reaction. That's the reaction you're supposed to have. Sorry. Sound like one of the chickens were hurt. Okay. That as hard as it is to hear, that call is an accurate reaction, and it's very sad. I cried the first time I heard it. Yep. Not a tear from Jen Soto. Blaming Maddie. Mia Farrow's legacy can be said she at least tried to do something about the pedo Woody compared to Jen. Yeah. Woody is a creep. Yeah, she talks about a couple of kids in those videos. All right. We're going to go on. Now, let me remind you again. He's stating that he found her that way, that she was drugged by somebody, or that she took meds herself. Her lips were blue. She was ice cold. She was pale. He was out of the room for a couple of hours. We're going to go down the path of took meds herself. Why would she take meds herself? Why would somebody take meds and take meds they're not supposed to? You would think it's because they wanted to not be on this earth anymore. And the police travel down that road because they had those phone calls and that information from the beginning. And we're going to see it. It's going to make some of these questions that they ask a little bit easier to understand. We'll also grab this real quick. This is the poem. And we're going to jump to, because I thought that this might contradict his statement, but it doesn't. So all the way back when we saw this poem, we're going to go to 8:30 in this one. See what he said in this damn poem here. Video below, I try not to give my commentary when I read these informational videos so that you can use them if you want to, as long as you give me credit like she did. I'll read this poem again, and her video will be linked below. She's got some really wonderful thing, not wonderful, but she's got information, and her point of view on this whole situation is, I like it, and I would advise you guys to go check her out for sure. The poem states, always, your hair was like honey with eyes stormy blue. Gone far too soon, I will always miss you. Your smile was a treasure, your laughter filled the room. This world is not the same, I will always miss you. I loved you so much, I would have died for you. With no end to my tears, I will always miss you. As I held you in my arms, my heart died with you. Rest in peace, sweetheart, I will always miss you. This right here again, as I held you in my arms, my heart died with you. As I held you in my arms, my heart died with you. Now, I looked at that and I was like, I think it's going to reference that he committed the homicide, but not necessarily. If he's saying he found her that way and then he picked her up and held her in his arms, then his heart could have died with her. Okay. So I wanted to bring that up. I mean, it does appear again that that's the defense he's taking. He found her that way. She was unresponsive, lips blue, ice cold, pale. She was drugged or she took meds. Hamburger Helper said, just wanted to clear something up. Woody and Mia adopted Dylan together and he abused her, but him marrying her daughter was Suni Priven, whom Mia and Andre adopted when they were married. Okay, so it still was his daughter. I mean, Mia's daughter, adopted daughter. It was still his stepdaughter, but thank you for clearing that up. I know they referenced a couple of children in there. So thank you for that. I appreciate that. All right, we're going to travel down the path of Maddie taking prescriptions herself. Woody Allen knew Suni since her age was in the single digits, so similar to Maddie. Later, Mia found X-rated pictures at Woody's apartment. He groomed her, and then Woody Allen and Suni went public. But you can see it's not anything. I mean, that's horrific abuse. It's not oh, they fell in love with each other and ran off and got married. That is horrific abuse. Okay, so we are going to go to this one's first on my list. I guess I put in there first. This is the 4th period teacher, and we're going to start at 2 minutes and 29 seconds. I got the timestamps this here day. All right. So let's see what she says about Maddie and the last time she saw her.
She's very on and off, very quiet, very chatty with some of the girls. I mentioned to Miss McAdam the specific girl she chose. Of course, as a teacher, you separate them.
Yes.
And then you think you're picking on them, but kind of where she would zone out a lot.
Okay.
To where I'd have to redirect. Hey, are you taking your notes? Do you need any help?
Gotcha.
Veronica, that's a good point. Veronica said, why does a parent have to give her the meds? If she's used to always taking one, wouldn't she be surprised she was made to take double the amount? Great point. She would have asked questions if she had more medicine than she was used to taking.
What's her behavior like?
This last week, prior to her, she was a bit flippant, a bit rolling the eyes.
Okay.
And normally she's just really quiet, reserved, keeping to herself. But she seemed to get a little bit of an attitude, but not, she wouldn't disrespect me. Just, you get the students that roll their eyes and it's like, okay.
So irritable. She's a little irritable the last time she was seen by her 4th period teacher. Amanda, you're so sweet. Thank you. Amanda sent a $2 super chat and said, did you see my email about her meds? Probably not. I went through and checked emails last night and tried to respond to a couple of people, or several people. I haven't checked it today, so I will try to look at it while we're doing this. It might be hard because I'm trying to run through and do timestamps and things like that. But I will try to check it.
Okay. You're not liking me moving you here. That's okay. I get that.
Was there anything in particular that was like, I guess, agitating her that you can remember?
She didn't seem agitated unless you spoke to her directly or if I...
Let me be clear. I don't think that Maddie did this to herself at all whatsoever. But basically, that's his defense. And we're running it to see if we can make it make sense. If he has a legitimate defense in going down that avenue. We're basically doing what they're going to do in the court of law. They're going to go through and say, okay, when she says my client found her that way, my client found her that way, she did that to herself, or somebody did that to her, somebody else other than my client. Then the defense or the DA is going to say, okay, well, if you think she did that to herself, we're going to talk about her mood and what she was like. What did her friends say about her? What did her teachers say about her? What did everybody who saw her last, other than the people in that house, have to say about her to prove? Was she depressed? Was she upset? Was she talking about doing something like that? I know that this child did not do that. I know that Stephan did it. I know it 100%. We're basically doing a mock courtroom to run it through and see if we can make it make sense. I have no way of being able to show that Jen did or did not give her extra medication because nobody knows that but Stephan and Jen. But what I can do is prove what Maddie's attitude was like during the time period before this happened. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, what she was like, what her mood was like. Was she happy? Was she sad? Was she depressed? That's what we're doing. Linda, thank you so much for the super sticker. That is a cute little kitty smiling. Oh, how sweet. She was disappointed with her birthday, and we're going to talk about that. She's irritable. They described it as flippant attitude, so we got that so far. And that was,
reminded her you need to be taking your notes or stuff like that.
So normal stuff. It's just this time.
Hey, Cindy.
This last week, she's been responding.
Correct.
Just different with more attitude. Is that, I guess it's not common of her from the way you're describing.
No, she's normally quiet. Like I said, she's normally quiet. She zones out to where you're having to redirect her.
But she's normally like more receptive to just direction or
Yeah.
redirection, rather.
So she's normally quiet, receptive to direction or redirection. Then I've got 609. Jenny Jen said if she did this to herself, then how the hell did her hyoid bone get broken? And we went down that road, and I've said, okay, if he's going to say she did that to herself, can he say her hyoid bone got broken when he had the leash holding her up, driving around in the car because of the weight of a deceased body? Pull it, and the only thing holding you in position is a leash on your neck. And I was told no, that it takes a considerable amount of force to break a hyoid bone. The weight of her head and body on a leash just being held up by her neck, I think it could be possible, but probably not likely. I would say it like that. Not likely, maybe possible. Boomer said, I think Maddie was so drugged she was unable to speak or fight him off during the SA act where he lost control of himself. He's almost 6'2" and 200 pounds. I think that's very possible too, considering that he had the scratch marks on his hands, but they weren't real deep. That's like somebody's trying to fight but doesn't have a lot of strength, and that could be from being drugged. Darla said, Stephan kept saying they had a great weekend planned and she was so happy. So I don't think anyone would believe she did this. Yep. And we're going to run that through. Yes, ma'am. Hannah said, there is a way to prove when injuries happened. I'm glad you pointed that out. We will know after trial, but we won't know before. And then lastly, before we get back into it, Veronica said he said they went to bed at 11 p.m. So I'm not sure that it happened that night and not Monday early hours. You hear Mac Daddy Rooster. It's raining. I think they're in the pen. I don't know. It's raining and cold here today. Yeah, they will be able to. Sorry, Veronica. Why I say Sunday night is because the DNA paperwork says the 25th and not the 26th, but I could be wrong. I mean, I don't know. I wasn't there. I did not see. I do not know. If I had been there, Stephan wouldn't be in jail. He'd be in the ground. But we're going to go with what, we can speculate. Hey, Becky. And Mrs. O, I saw you came in. Hey, good to see you.
Go together and do their little talks and whatnot.
Have you ever seen her act in a way that you would describe as, I guess I know she's normally quiet, but would you describe that as like sad or depressed or anxious, or is there any negative emotion that you would associate with the way she acts?
On a couple of occasions, she would request to go to the counselor.
Okay.
She was sad.
Gotcha. How often was that?
So they're asking specifically about being sad, upset, or depressed. And why are they asking this? Well, I'm assuming they knew at this point that there's a possibility, which this point, I think she was still just missing, but they're going to ask things like that. For running away. In some of the later interviews, they're still asking the same questions, and it's because I would speculate that they know what the defense is going to try to do. Hey, Captain Obvious, there's no way any injury would buy his ridiculous lies. Don't worry, it's not going to happen. I hope not. Oh, Genevieve, I hope you're okay. Yeah, I'll put up videos of the goats tomorrow. I actually milked the goat for the first time. My landlord's daughter was out there showing me how to do it last night. And I put the goat's milk, I made the ice cubes to do soap. So I'm hoping that I can make a video on how to make goat's milk soap for y'all in the members only. But I have to do it so close up because my house is so small. I'm not trying to like shoot my whole house. That's why I'm trying to move so I could do better members videos too. But anyway, back on subject. Sorry, ADHD. Hey, Smokey.
Not a huge amount of times. I mean, maybe in the time that I've had her 3-4 times to her.
Okay.
If I would redirect or whatnot, she would shut down and get upset. And I would ask her, do you need to go see the counselor? And she said yes.
Did she ever say like what she was upset about at that point in time, or?
No.
Okay.
Nothing.
Okay. So as far as your observations of her daily behavior, if I'm understanding you right, it doesn't sound as though you would describe anything that she did as particularly sad or depressed, other than the times that she said she was upset and she wanted to go see the counselor. And when she didn't necessarily give a reason. It was just not feeling great. But that was less than 5 times in
Yeah,
the
I would
past
say
7
that.
months. Okay.
They are out because he's right by the window. So she's saying not necessarily sad or depressed, but she would go and see the counselor a lot. Bellis, I messaged her last night because I was worried about her. She said she had a horrible allergic reaction and she's been dealing with that. But she is okay. So I wanted to let y'all know that. And thank you for asking. Look how happy and healthy Maddie is in that pic. Then Stephan happened. Yeah, she's absolutely gorgeous, absolutely beautiful in a little tutu outfit. Looks like she was probably doing some kind of dance classes or something. And then everything happened. There's no more pictures after about this age where she's really happy and smiling like that.
And I don't
Really?
think it was in the recent. I'm trying to think. I think that was prior to the holiday break.
So not
last
even
one, yeah.
all that
Not even
recently.
recent.
How are her grades in your class?
Currently, she's failing.
Okay.
She's not turning in work.
Okay.
Even classwork that she does in class, she doesn't turn it in. And it's typical for a lot of the students, like, hey, you got to turn in your work. Okay, we've got 2 weeks left in the quarter. And then they start pushing them in. But yeah.
Has she always been that way since starting your class, or is that more of a recent shift?
More of a, she's doing it more than what she used to do it.
Okay. And has that been like a gradually progressive, she's turning in less and less and less, or has there been like a definitive shift of, she was doing okay and then all of a sudden she wasn't?
She's been like borderline to where I'm not sure if it's because of the IP or not, but if I give her a test, I'd have to redirect her. You need to focus on your test. It takes her longer than typical 7th grade student to do that. But recently she's not been turning in anything.
And has she ever expressed wanting to hurt anyone else or hurt herself? Or I know you would have reported it, if she'd said something, but has she ever said anything that indicated to you that that's something she thinks about? Harming anyone else or harming herself?
Oh, no. She's never verbally said anything.
And does she argue with the other students at all?
No.
Okay. Sounds like a pretty easygoing kid for the most part, to be honest. Let's see what else I got here. I guess in the times that you have had her, have you ever seen anything that's made you concerned for anything happening at home with either anyone else?
Nothing aside from, just a quiet student.
Okay. But she's never talked about home life being uncomfortable or
Not to me.
expressed or acted in any way that would indicate to you she was being abused or harmed. Have you ever had any
I'm trying to think. Maybe at one of the IP meetings.
So she's never acted in any way that would suggest she was being abused or harmed. She was never depressed. She was never really sad. She did go and see the counselor. She never acted like she wanted to hurt herself or anyone else. I do a lot. I sell soaps, salves, lotions, and jellies at the farmer's market. I do have some videos about plant remedies on my page, but I plan on putting more if you're a member. That's where I put all that stuff at. And gardening.
Meetings. I've had so many of them. So not through talking points. I know they can to do makeup tests, makeup work, or whatnot.
Sure.
So that's about it. Nothing one-on-one.
It doesn't sound like anything stands out as far as conversations
No,
with
it's
mom.
just typical conversations with parents.
Gotcha.
I love the app Talking Point. It goes straight to it.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm sure before Talking Point,
But
you
aside-
remember PTA meetings.
Oh
and
yeah.
all sorts of stuff.
Not only that, just emails, like respond to the email. But
Cool.
no, just back and forth. Hey, they're missing this. It's coming to the end of the quarter.
Jen wouldn't respond to the emails about her daughter and her grades. Imagine that. Imagine that. Content, that was a very sweet thing for you to say. Thank you for that. Okay, that was all I have for that one. So, fourth period teacher says that she's not ever act depressed, never said she wanted to hurt herself or anyone else. She was irritable and would see the counselor a lot. All right, so we'll get rid of that one. Okay, this is interview with Madeline's friend, SS. So we're going to go to 345.
Time is.
I don't know what kind of answer that was. Okay, we're going to go to 345 and see what her friend has to say about her. I am so sorry, Kim Trelia. I'm so sorry.
Basis, or did you only talk to her every once in a while?
Once in a while. I actually had a good conversation with her the last day she came to school on Friday. It was about a boy that she really liked.
Who was that?
I don't know his last name.
What did she say about that?
That he we were at the student staff game, and the most of the time she was just looking for him, like, where's she at, and she just really wanted to talk to him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anything else? Did you guys talk about anything else?
No. She was really happy, you wouldn't know that was happening behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
She it never showed.
Gotcha. All right. Who would you say, other than you said?
Okay, so there was a boy she liked that she was trying to talk to. She was really happy behind the scenes. Does that sound like someone who's going to go home and do something horrible? When she's got this little boy that she was trying to get up with and talk to at the school game, and she was really happy, is what her friend said, who would know her the best. One of her friends that would know her the best. So that was the first stamp. The next one's 515 to 603. So she's really happy the last time her friend sees her at school, talking to this little boy at the game. Hey, Fisher Blue. Fisher Blue said, yes, I wonder if they were taking her Adderall. His friend, he was addicted to it, and that they would need more and more to get the same effect. Yeah. I've been wondering that too, since I've heard some things and listening. You learn something new every time you listen to these interviews. All right.
Probably.
What kind of information did you get from
that? I'm sorry, I don't remember a lot, but
that's okay.
At her birthday party, her mom didn't come, and it was I believe her dad was there. I don't know, but she was really mad, and she wanted her mom there, and that's
Did say who else was at her birthday party?
I don't know who was at the birthday party, but I knew she was there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. And that was the last day. That's it as well.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, thank you so much for talking with us.
Okay, so she's happy. She's trying to talk to this little boy at the game, but she's upset that mom didn't show up at her birthday party. I'm writing it down. I should have played a video while I was doing this. Sorry. All right. So we're going to remove that one from the playlist so we can keep it moving. All right. What did Juan and her aunt say about her on the last day? I have got one timestamp for this one. Yeah, she wanted to be a normal teenage girl, and that was taken from her.
This is the
in every aspect. And you can't tell me Jen didn't know. I'm sorry, I'm not buying it anymore. I myself, like a lot of people, said in the beginning, maybe she didn't know. Maybe she was so medicated. It's not like it's never happened before, like that someone had been so medicated they missed things. Just like with Deb and them, I had the patience of saints with Deb, because I could not imagine being in that situation with my child being in prison. But then I heard these phone calls and I'm like, nope, no ma'am, not today, Satan. And as I learned this case more in the beginning, it became so obvious to me that there's no way Jen's not involved, in my opinion. And that's just my opinion. That's the root, in my opinion, argument started Sunday night. Jen didn't go to the party. You think that's the root of the issue? I think it's very possible, Lori. Skeleton with a migraine. I love your name. That's so sad. She wanted her mother there. Yeah. It is really sad. Michelle, I can almost guarantee it too. You know what I mean? I think that was definitely happening. Jen Soto, when he ran out, so she gave him Maddie. Yeah. So if you take Adderall and you don't have ADHD, it's pretty much the same thing as abusing methamphetamine. It will keep you up for days. It is abused. Ritalin is abused. It keeps you up for days and gives you energy. I mean, I've talked about my past on here. I was more into the downers, but I did snort Adderall a couple of times, and I was up for about 3 days. But we had like a whole prescription between me and my boyfriend at the time, so it made me up, cleaning, happy, listening to music, cleaning the house, things like that. And I didn't sleep for about 3 days. Long time ago, like 11 years. I've been clean for about 10 years now. Fisher said, I also think Madeline didn't want him up there. He was upset and she was crying on Saturday. Maybe she threatened to tell, and Jen Soto wanted Stephan up there to talk to her. I think there was a fight and Jen Soto banished them. Possible. All right, so we're going to see what Grandpa and Aunt said about her the very last day.
Right. I had a double whopper. Fries. Such a fun night.
It was great. Do you remember who was there at the party tonight? All our family. We have a big family here. She had 2 friends from school. They talked to them already.
So family like is you guys aunts, uncles,
cousins.
So does she get along with everybody?
Yeah, and she had 2 friends at the party.
From school, right?
From school,
Yeah.
and they were having a blast. They were outside. They went to the park. They came back.
The party was here?
No, it was at my mom's house in Orlando.
Did she go with?
So far, we're hearing that she's at the party. She's having a blast, time of her life. She had her friends there. They're enjoying it. They're playing outside, playing in the water. I feel bad for Juan too. Bazard.
No, I took her and I dropped her.
That's
so I
the
dropped her
problem.
off 8:30 that night. I told her, she takes supplements. I said, take your meds, take a shower. I left. And then 10:30 afterward.
Oh, so she back here to meet her, or did she go to the party and meet her there?
No, here. She got out at like, I don't know, 10. She had to ask her, but she said she got here around 10:30.
She's a little disabled, like emotionally type of thing, but you can have a part-time with Disney and all that stuff. She finally got another job with them because they're giving the run around. And we have to watch the baby, and she helps. Stephan is over to help her. She asked her to come and help her.
Right.
These few days because she was in training and all that stuff, and it's 6 o'clock in the morning and stuff.
And she says that there was some days that she was going to get out at 1 a.m. So
she always takes us to school.
I'm going to write something on the back of the business card because while you guys can reach out to me, I'm going to give you the lead detective information.
Okay, I think that's the only timestamp I have for that video. So we're hearing there that she's happy. She's got her friends there. She's playing in the water. She was upset. We know that Jen didn't show up. But so far, happy girl. Friend said happy talking to a boy. She was upset that mom's not at party. 4th period teacher said she's not depressed. She was irritable and she went to see the counselor a lot. Grandpa and aunt said she was happy. She was with friends at the birthday party playing, and sister dropped her off at 8:30, or aunt, excuse me. Hey, Lily Gal. Lily Gal said autopsy will show whether hyoid bone was broken before or after death, as her body will have petechia spots or tiny spots of bleeding under the skin in the eyes, mouth, or eyelids. I've heard about that. Yep. Oh, thank you. It's been a long time. I try not to talk about it because I don't like to think about that time in my life. The birthday money stayed at the grandmother's home. Well, I think we figured out that she said she took it with her, that she had it with her that night, especially when we saw the body cam footage. I think that when in that audio they referenced it's here, they meant that like Maddie didn't take the money with her as if she was going to like run away and try to like catch a train or something like that. Okay. I have a couple of spots we're going to listen to in the interview from the bestie. And I remember in one of these interviews with the bestie, they asked if gin soda would ever hurt Maddie. And I don't remember which one it's in, but I found that
It's March 13th, 2024. The time
I
is
find
4
that
p.m.
interesting because that tells me that they're going down the avenue that gin soda could possibly be responsible for this. But she's still not arrested, so that tells me that they know she's not. All right, we're going to start at 101. Fisher Blue said everyone has done something growing up. Heck, our brains are not fully developed until 25 years old, and why car rentals won't even rent to anyone younger than that. Yep, we all have. Joyous, that was so very sweet of you. Thank you so much for gifting 10 Speculation Station memberships. Oh my goodness, that was so very sweet of you. Thank you so very much. Those went to Buffy, Parley Legal, Grateful Little Farm, Stephanie Poston, Shining Light, Ace, Sherry Baby, Hugh, Scooby Mom, and Cece. Thank you so much for that, Joyous. That was so sweet and supportive of you. If you were gifted and you are aware you were gifted, please tell Joyous thank you, and I will play the Crazy Train and pick y'all up on the way to Speculation Station. Hey, Tony. Thank you so much, Joyous. That was so very sweet of you. Send the audio with Detective Mark. Okay, thank you. Jenny Jen knows the timestamps for everything. My lovely mod.
The party on Sunday?
Yes.
Who else was there with you as our friends?
Me and Emily.
Emily?
Yeah.
Do you know Emily's last name?
No.
Does she go to your school?
Yes.
What grade is she?
7th.
7th? Any classes with Maddie?
PE.
PE? You don't happen to have her phone number, do you?
Yeah, I do.
Do you mind giving it to me? Are you feeling better? Dad said you weren't feeling too hot yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm feeling better.
All right, so you two were basically the only friends that were there at
Yes.
the birthday party. How was she during the birthday party? Was she outgoing, happy?
When Emily got there, she kind of changed her mood, but I was the first one of her friends to get there, but she was kind of on me for stuff. Like, she would kind of get mad at anything I asked.
Like what? What would you ask her that?
Okay, so we're hearing she was a little irritable at the birthday party. Rebecca, that was so very sweet of you. Thank you guys for the compliments. Y'all are so very sweet. I'm glad that you found us and became part of our speculating family and hang out with us every day. Julie said, thanks for the update on Abellis. I've just gotten through a week of steroids since I had a horrible reaction to something that I bought. Oh, goodness, I'm sorry. They put all kinds of horrible things in our foods. But yeah, I'm hoping she's doing okay. I did talk to her through email, though, last night, and she said she was okay. When Emily got there, she changed her mood. Thank you, Darla.
That would make her mad.
There was like food there, and I didn't know what the food was, so I asked, and after like 3 times of asking, she got mad at me asking. Okay. We were playing red light, green light, and she got mad because I wasn't standing in the correct spot, and it would just be about other little things.
Okay. I know it's difficult for me to ask, but I have to ask because it might be important in the future. I know you shared with either Detective Payne or the other female that was speaking with you that you and Maddie kind of were maybe on the same cycle.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Okay. And in the interview with Detective Payne, you
Okay, I had that. We could skip. I guess we'll just listen through.
said that Maddie may have gotten her period later
Right.
on.
Yeah.
Was that in February or January?
January.
Cindy stated a great point. Cindy says she's 13. I'd have been concerned if she wasn't irritable. Exactly. Any 13-year-old, 12 turning 13 is going to be a little bit irritable. She sounds like a normal teenager to me.
January. Okay. Did you two discuss it all about February's?
No, not really.
Okay. All right. Because I think you also mentioned to him when she doesn't get it, she's kind of moody.
Yeah.
Or okay. Did it appear that way when you guys were at the birthday party or the weeks leading up to it?
At the birthday party.
She did. Okay. She seemed.
Of course, I didn't know that last night.
Yes. Exactly. So I'm gonna scoot a little closer. So
I'm new to this, to being a YouTube content creator, so I don't know how to make the sounds lower in the background. If anybody is good at editing, please email me so you can help me. I've got several programs that I use to try to do things, but I apologize about this loud noise. But if anybody knows how to edit really good, please email me because I would love to learn. Darla said, I'm guessing she was getting upset that no other friends were there until Emily showed up. I don't know. Possibly. I could definitely see that. Can anyone just hardly wait for Jen Soto to get hers? I do want to reiterate that as of July, they said that Stephan worked independently, but I think she deserves something. This was a special birthday for Maddie, and she was probably disappointed that she didn't have the turnout she wanted. Yep, I agree, Boomer.
So during the birthday party, she seemed to act kind of the way she would if she didn't get a period.
Yeah.
Or she would. Did she say anything else was bothering her during her birthday party?
No. Yeah. Oh yeah, she had told her friends literally she told all of us good day before her party. So she was mad that no one could make it because everyone was out of town or they couldn't make it.
And she was upset at that.
Yeah.
Okay. And going through Maddie's text messages, you guys appeared to have a group text going between you and a few other people.
Yeah.
Okay. She asked you about dates for NPAs.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you still have those text messages in your phone?
Right.
Maybe. And the reason I'm asking is because it looks like when she asked.
Okay, they're asking about NPAs, which we looked it up. We're going to look it up again. I can't remember. We figured out that it was MPA or NPA. We'll do NPA. Look it up like that. She was asking about, yeah, it's MPA. She was asking about when these were. Now, if music performance assessment is what we figured out that it was. She was asking about when the next music performance assessment was. And, that makes sense because she was in chorus and that was her favorite thing. I do have an update about calling to school, by the way, which I'll share with you in just a minute. But if she's asking about future events that are happening at school, asking when this is, that's not a sign of somebody who is going to go home and do something to themselves. You know what I mean? You're not going to make plans and then go home and do something. We've learned that. I mean, it's not very common, I would say. Hey, Brenda. Thank you, Jenny Jen. You always have all the info. You really do. I love you so much, Jen. You're so awesome. But she's not going to be asking about future events that are happening and trying to get ready for those or marking it down and things like that. That's not a sign of somebody who's going to do something to themselves. Quick update about the school. I have called them once a week for the past entire month. evidently the secretary that I talked to didn't work there anymore, doesn't work there anymore. I did talk to another one. I did leave a message. She said they would love to accept the money that we raised and they thought it was really sweet, but she's just got to get it an okay, and she's supposed to call me back. Now, I can put out all of these calls that I've made because I record them on StreamYard, but most of the time it's them telling me they'll have somebody call me back. But I figured that I'm just going to wait until I actually make the donation. I'm going to call back tomorrow. Like, this is going to happen this week if I have to send a cashier's check because, like, I'm trying to get this money to them that y'all donated so kindly. Roxanne said, I absolutely feel Jen Soto will get her time with the law when they feel they don't need her testimony to cap off the massive evidence they already had. The mother's testimony will weigh in a lot in court. I agree. I hope so. I really do. Hey, Alex.
Ask for the dates for the MPA. Either.
Monday. Oh, okay.
Okay, the next time step I have is at 8:25. Yeah. Okay, 8:25 through 9:49. Okay.
Going back to the birthday party. What time did you leave the party?
Picked you up like 7?
Yeah, it's around 7. I got home at 7:15.
Emily left the same time.
Okay.
Because I saw Emily walk out. Her mother was already there. Someone was already there to pick her up, and then I
Pick it up.
saved it.
Okay. Who all from Maddie's family was there? Was there a lot? Or?
Yeah, there was a lot. I can't.
Okay. Did Maddie say what time she was leaving the party to you guys, or what time she's going to go home?
I had asked her when the party was going to end before Emily had cake, because she was asking.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, I don't know, this party could last till like midnight or like 1 a.m.
Okay. Do you happen to know who took Maddie home?
I don't.
Or did she even talk? Did she talk about it? Who was going to take her home?
I know what the person looks like. I don't know like how they're related to Maddie is.
It was a family member.
Yes.
It wasn't her mom's boyfriend.
The mom's boyfriend was not at the party.
Okay. Did Maddie mention to you that he was going to be at the house when she got home or anything like that? No. Did she mention to you about mom? Was mom working, or why wasn't mom at the party?
No, she didn't mention the mom at all.
Okay. Did she seem like she was upset at the mom? At her mom?
No, but I kind of figured that's why she was mad at like the party.
Because her mom wasn't there.
Yeah.
Got it. All right. Now.
So we know that she was a little irritable, and she was upset that mom wasn't there. She's upset that mom was absent. I got to get a better notebook. I have my timestamp written on the back of the page. All right, now we're going to 12 minutes to 13:42. All right, let's jump to 12 minutes. So we know that she's happy but upset that mom is not there at the birthday party.
That's going to be, I just needed some things clarified about the party, but she was definitely upset at the party.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you feel that she was upset at anybody in particular, or just upset in general?
Upset in general, kind of.
Okay. Was she crying or anything like that?
No.
Tell her what she did. Tell them what she did.
When I first got to the party, she got mad because I didn't have a gift.
Okay.
Which I had already given the gift to her at school, but she had said like, "Where's like the rest?"
Mm-hmm.
And I gave her like this really big bag of like full of stuff, and I was like, "What do you mean? Where's the rest?" And she was like, "You said that there were gonna be like a whole bunch of stuff as like a joke, and then like, so where's the rest of the stuff?" And I was like, "This is it." So when I showed up to her party, she was like, I barely got any gifts, and I was surprised I didn't get a gift from you.
She's upset. Cindy, that's a great idea. I know the secretary, the assistant principal's secretary's name is Samantha, and they said that she's no longer working there or was not there today. It's hard for me to understand. She's the one that I've been waiting to call me back. Fisher Blue said Stephan Stearns unalived her daughter, I think he will use the excuse that Maddie did this. I think so too. And that's why we're trying to run it through. We're basically doing what the DA is going to do to prove that he's lying.
And I was like, but I already gave you my gift at school. So, and then at the end of like the party, like when me and Emily were like leaving, she got mad at me because they didn't like shake all of like her family members like hands to like say goodbye, which I kind of was like, oh, bye. And then like I left, and then as I was like crossing the street and stuff, she got mad. She was like, I always get in trouble after you leave because you don't say goodbye to everyone. And I was like, I say goodbye, I just don't say it very loud.
What did she always have these kind of mood swings, I guess you could say, Colin?
Yeah.
Okay. Did she ever talk about her sleeping habits? Like, would she go to bed late, go to bed early, sleep in late, get up early?
I know if she was like sick or something, she'd go to bed early, but she'd sleep in her mom's room.
Okay.
But other than that, she'd stay up pretty late.
Okay. All right. One last difficult question. Do you think her mom would hurt her for any reason?
I don't know.
Okay, that's fine. And I'm not going to ask you about him because you don't know him.
So that proves right there. Thank you, Jenny Jen, because I was about to skip it ahead. I had not heard that part when I was reviewing this earlier. That does prove right there that the police were looking at Jen at some point. And they could still be looking at her as possibly having given her substances to make Stephan happy, given Madeline substances to make Stephan happy so Stephan could abuse Maddie, and something happened. I don't think that that's what happened. I think that Stephan did this 100%, but I guess it could be a possibility. Like I've said a million times, I was not there. I do not know. I did not see. So we don't know exactly what happened. I can't run that scenario because I don't have enough information. Yeah, she can plead the fifth on the stand. I hope she doesn't. Ever Love Me said, to be honest, my ADHD causes mood swings. Weird. Most don't consider the behavior effects ADHD has. I have ADHD and bipolar, so I attribute my mood swings to my bipolar. Crackerjack said she was irritable. Bless her. She had been very upset with her grandpa, too, and didn't want to go home. Yep. Where were the meds kept, said Miss Kimmy. If Maddie did it to her, wouldn't she have to go downstairs to Jen's room or bathroom? Wasn't Stearns downstairs on the couch and whatever, so he would have seen Maddie too. Yeah, unless she took him, unless he's going to say she took him right when she got home from the birthday party at 8:30. But yeah, she would have had to go in Jen's room and get him. I'm with you on that, Moss Mommy. If Jen had done it, Stephan would have said by now, and his parents keep trying to get him to say Jen did it.
Is there anything that you can think of, since we're probably not going to be talking again, that you think I should know that about Maddie or anything that has to do with that household?
I know that they have roommates.
Mm-hmm.
She told me that he moved out and that they got a new roommate. I don't think I can think of anything else that was like weird or anything other than the roommate thing.
Gotcha.
Her phone is, I'm telling you this, so if there's anything that you need from her phone, we have to go get her phone fixed. For some reason, it's not letting her do, it's not saying there's a phone number on it anymore. It just keeps wanting to do the email address and we can't get it back. So we've got to take it. So, but I don't know if we take it. We've been holding off on taking it until after.
I find that weird. What I find more weird is that the images of Stephan that were in the group text are mysteriously gone after he went to jail. So we're going to jump to 1659 and listen to this to the end. Yeah, Detective Kevin did see right through her, and Detective Kevin was awesome, Joy and Veronica.
Words that she didn't know, and then having to explain what some of the words meant was something we didn't really want to have to go through.
Right.
So, I will say that when she came home from the birthday party, she was upset because Maddie was on her about everything. She doesn't like guacamole. She got mad at her for not eating the guacamole. She was mad about everything. They went outside and played. She got a water hose and she was very angry. She was mad there weren't a lot of presents. This is all this stuff she came home and told us.
She was mad because family members weren't there, and Sage's birthday is at the beginning of February, and she'd been building it up all month that on her birthday it's going to be a really big event and all this family's coming in, and then they didn't. So she was very upset. So I mean, she's kind of breezed over it a little bit, but that was when she came home. That's what she told us.
Gotcha.
And there was this whole table, and there was one gift on it.
Oh wow.
So there weren't a lot of gifts. So I saw an interview with the grandmother saying, "Oh, there were all these gifts and all these people," and that's not what was portrayed when she was there, unless that happened after.
Right. Okay. All right. Like I said, thank you for talking to me. Thank you.
All right. So at the birthday party, she is upset, irritable. She's depressed, sad that there's not a lot of presents, and that her mother wasn't there. I still don't think that's enough to make her go home and do anything. Okay, I'll write that down. Now let's go to the next interview. So far we've got that she was irritable. She was happy and talking to a boy, but upset mom wasn't at the party. She was not depressed. She was irritable. She went to see the counselor a lot. She was happy with her friends and was dropped off at 8:30. And she was irritable, upset, and that mom was absent, upset in general, and upset that there was not a lot of gifts at the birthday party. So we're kind of like 50-50 right now. We watched the poem. So now we're going to listen to the 7th period teacher. I've got 2 timestamps for this one.
This is Maddie's 7th period teacher. And
we are going to go. I wish we could arrest Jen Soto right now. We're going to go to 2 minutes and 51 seconds in. This interview is not that long. Oh, 51, not 15. All right.
Behavior?
Recent? No.
How about changes overall in her behavior?
Actually, yeah, I don't know why it says recent, but not really.
Okay.
She had sleepy days, I guess. Would actually be a thing.
Okay.
It was more so the beginning of the year. But other than that, no changes.
No recent changes in behaviors. If somebody is going to do something to themselves, there's usually a change in behavior. They're more sad. They're more upset. There's signs of it, right?
Has she had any signs of depression or suicidal ideations, inclinations?
Nothing with suicide. I know that like fatigue and stuff like that can be a sign of depression, but without anything being confided in me, I've never assumed or anything like that. Just she never got any sleep.
Okay. What's her grades like?
They were a little bit rough, and then she brought them up.
Okay.
She'll go through phases of not turning anything in, turning everything in, not turning it in, turning it all in. I would still say probably in the BC range, but I'm not 100% sure right now. I have to pull it up.
No big shifts in behavior, nothing like that? Okay.
Nope. Even on that Friday, she said, okay, I'll see you Monday.
That's really important as well. We heard from the bestie. Sorry, Basil is in the room and he is chewing. So I apologize about that. She was happy and said, I will see you Monday. People who are going to go hurt themselves are not going to make, again, like I said with the MPA thing, they're not going to be making plans to see you again. It's not common for them to say, okay, I'll see you Monday if they're planning on going home and doing something. Ever Love Me said, Jen said she was so happy at the end of the day. Yes, she did. Another reason that the DA is going to be like, your defense does not make any sense. And thank you so much for the support. That was so very sweet and supportive of you. I really appreciate that, Ever Love Me. That was so sweet. Nessa said, why would they lie if it was an accident? More lies. Well, the reason that you would lie or not call 911 if you did come upon somebody that was deceased is because there is illegal activity going on during the time of the crime. if it really was an accident, they wouldn't have called 911 maybe because she was on substances and in the middle of being abused or something to that effect would be my thought process on that. Veronica said, Lori, I just wish that she will be accountable for everything she did, covering up, serving Maddie on a silver platter to this pedo, lying about everything that happened that day, and etc. I wish she would be held accountable too. I wonder if the school has Jen Soto in conference to discuss Maddie's bad grades. From what we've heard, they tried to contact her several times and she just like would not email them back. They would try to talk to her through that messaging app and they wouldn't call, she wouldn't call them back or email them back.
Do you know which Friday that was?
The Friday before her birthday party and she disappeared.
Okay. When was that? Was that the
16th?
23rd.
The 23rd, I believe, is when, because we had Jerry Craft the day before, basketball game.
Okay.
Yeah, so as we were leaving 7th period, I always say, like, oh, I'll see you guys Monday. And I'm pretty sure she said something along wants to see you Monday too, but can't be 100% sure.
You are right. Bestie said that Maddie had stopped taking her meds around Valentine's Day. So if there is medication in her system, it could support Stephan's defense, but it also could say that Stephan gave her those medications. Jen Soto has no excuse if she could not manage as well as needed for Maddie. It was her responsibility to ask for help. She really does need to take responsibility for her part in all of this. I agree. Okay, so that was all I had for that one. That's a really important interview, though, because she says, I'll see you next Monday. See you Monday. I mean, she just had a birthday party. She just had new stuff, new jewelry, new all of the things, or what the things that she did get from her birthday party. It's not, it just doesn't make sense that you would do that right after your birthday party. Like, everybody said that she was happy, you know. So far, it's not making sense. Even if she was a little bit upset, a little bit sad, a little irritable, she's not depressed enough to do something to herself. So this is the interview with the 6th period teacher, and we're going to go a minute in. Abellis, hey, I'm glad to see you here. You don't have to be sorry you're late. Are you feeling better? Are you okay? Everybody was asking about you, and I told them you had an allergic reaction, but that you were feeling better. I hope you're okay, love. If you need to go rest, you go get you some rest. Jenny Jen said, such great points, everyone, and I agree 100%.
Can you maybe tell me, I guess, tell me a little bit about her, what she like?
She's very quiet, reserved. She looks sad quite often.
Okay.
Had even if they on your assignment, like to redirect her within a very short amount of time, she's lost focus again. She'll have her head down. She's often in the clinic. Whether she was in my 3rd period or currently in my 6th period, she's oftentimes in the clinic.
Okay.
The clinic is the counselor. As you can see, everybody has very much missed you, Abellis, and I'm glad you're here. I'm so glad you're here. Fawny said she ran in the other room when she heard me say your name. We're so glad that you're here and you're feeling better. You are very much missed. Unless you have EUPD, emotional regulation disorder causing rapid severe mood swings, often created in adolescence, I don't think this was developed in Maddie, though. Great point. Are you able to request a FOIA on evidence against Stephan Stearns? I have all the evidence against Stephan Stearns, the homicide indictment, all of the court documents and things like that I am able to get. They're up on my Patreon, and I've released some of the pages where I'm reading through it on the homicide indictment. There's 2 videos where we read through that, but I never finished them. I need to. Hey, Revival. It's good to see you. Thank you for being here.
And what What's that for, usually?
Either she's not feeling well or she has anxiety.
Okay. When you say she's not feeling well, what does that mean? Did she tell you ever?
She's like, I'm not feeling good. Can I go to the nurse?
Did you describe it at all? Like, my stomach's hurting, my head's hurting, I'm feeling sad, anxious.
I just know that she has anxiety.
Okay.
So I just allow her to go to the nurse and see the nurse.
And is that common in other periods too that you know of? I don't know if y'all ever talk about it.
I don't know about the other periods, but it stayed about the same as far as third period versus sixth period.
Okay. Is she ever absent from school?
She is. Mm-hmm. Without looking at my attendance sheets, I can't tell you how frequent it is.
Would you describe her just off the top of your head as like frequently absent, or is it just not frequent enough for you to notice and call it something?
Because she's in the clinic so much and she goes home, she's missing my class a lot.
Got it.
So whether she's gone home or she's still in the clinic, she does miss my class a lot.
Okay. So you said normally she's very quiet and reserved. How long have you known her for?
For the school year.
This is the first year you've taught her here?
Yes.
Is she a new student here?
I am unsure.
Okay, that's fine. Have you noticed any recent changes in her behavior?
I have.
Okay, how so?
On January 22nd, with her being moved, and the only reason why I know this is because I was looking at my talking points. And on January 22nd, I met through talking points and said that, explained to her that she had been moved to my sixth period and that I'm noticing she's more tired, more like withdrawn in my sixth period class. Like she's lost more focus than usual. And I just forgot. You're just seeing her in her natural state. I forgot to give her medicine.
So she got moved into your
So this one is saying sad, often absent, going to counselor, more tired, withdrawn, less focused. And she pointed out something kind of important when she talked to Jennifer Soto about it. Jennifer Soto said, "Oh, you're just seeing her in her natural state. I forgot to give her medicine." So again, that's saying that she wasn't getting the correct dose of medicine, not that she was getting too much. Kat said, "I've listened to all of this plenty of times, and before Jen finds out that she is unalive, she comes up with so many reasons why she is missing, and I never heard her mention that she was depressed." Great point. 100%. Great point. Jen talks about her being so happy, and nobody mentions her being really upset. They talk about that she's irritable. Sometimes she's sad at school, and her friends talk about her birthday party, but I don't see her being depressed enough to do something. Everybody else describes her as happy. Now, when you're talking about a teenager, of course, their school and their friends are going to know them better than their parents do, but I still don't see it happening. And again, like I've said in the beginning, I want to make it clear, I do not think Madeline did this to herself. I'm just trying to run the scenario that the DA is going to run. If the defense puts this strategy up, which I'm assuming they will. Hello, Dee. It's good to see you. Jen was Maddie's mom, and in my opinion, her God-given responsibility to keep her child from a horrific harm. I think she's more guilty than Stearns. I don't disagree. Hey, Irene. Good to see you.
Sixth period class?
Correct.
Where was she moved from?
So she was so there was a problem with chorus.
Oh, okay.
And so the only other period that particular chorus that she was in.
Remember, the chorus teacher was the Chobo, was Brett Italio, who was messing with the little boys on Discord. It's so sad. Like, to be a lovely young girl like Maddie with a mother like that, lazy on substances, beast, and the chomo that her mother handed her over to think she felt so alone. Yeah. Forgetting is not an excuse. You don't send a kid to school unmedicated if they are supposed to be medicated. You drive your ass to school and some pills and a spare labeled bottles. Yeah. You need to be going to school. My mom came to school and brought me ibuprofen because they wouldn't let us have it, but she would come up to the school and bring it to me.
Was third period, so they swapped third and sixth. So she's now in chorus third period and me sixth period, and it was different.
So she was just moved for timing reasons, for scheduling reasons.
Right.
Gotcha. But there was nothing happening in chorus
I don't.
that you know of.
I just know that there was an issue with something happening in chorus with students.
Gotcha. So there was
Not
some sort of issue in chorus.
Correct.
So they switched her around so she'd be in your 6th period.
Correct.
Got it. And I guess there's different students in that other period of chorus.
Correct.
Gotcha. Sorry, gotta make sure I write.
You're fine.
Okay, the next timestamp I have is 6:42. Hold on just a minute. Okay.
She just says she's working on it. And in your weekly meetings, I mean, has she ever talked about life at home and mentioned being sad or depressed or, okay.
No.
Has she ever shown any signs of being depressed?
I mean, with her just,
Mm-hmm.
it's hard. It's hard to tell because she was always having anxiety. She was always like putting her head down when she wasn't feeling well. So,
gotcha. Has she ever, has she ever expressed anything? I know that you would have reported it, obviously, but has she ever expressed anything about wanting to hurt someone else or hurt herself? So, as far as like her state of mind or her mental state in your class, as far as you know, she's just very quiet, but you wouldn't necessarily describe that as like sad or depressed, just withdrawn.
Correct.
That's what it sounds like. I just want to make sure I'm understanding.
Like having a hard time focusing.
Yeah. But she also has ADHD, right? So
She does. She also has an IEP.
Oh, okay. So do you think maybe
So I always thought that it was part like because she struggles with learning.
Mhm.
So I always thought, kids that struggle with learning also are a little bit withdrawn and have a hard time focusing.
Yeah.
So
it's common of kids who struggle, and that might be because they're just not understanding what's and okay.
Correct.
So we do not have a list of Maddie's meds due to HIPAA laws, but from what I understand, she was only on medication. She was on medication for ADHD, which was Adderall, and then she was on Vistaril for anxiety and things. But it's just like it's like a Benadryl. It's not a narcotic or anything. I do know that those are in the documents, but I don't know of any other medications she was on. Vistaril, I don't know that you could overdose on it. Maybe. I mean, I'd have to look. Actually, you know what? We'll look it up. Okay, let's see what it says about overdose information. Hydroxyzine overdose occurs when someone takes more than the normal recommended amount of this medicine. This can be by accident or on purpose. Do not use it to treat or manage an actual overdose. If you or someone you are with has an overdose, call your local emergency number such as 911 or your local poison control center can be reached directly by calling the national toll-free poison help hotline, which is 1-800-222-1222 from anywhere in the United States. It says that it can be harmful in large amounts. It gives us generic names, which is Vistaril. Symptoms are dilated pupils. The classic symptom of hydroxyzine overdose would be dilated pupils. Below are other symptoms of a hydroxyzine overdose in different parts of the body. So you would have shortness of breath, difficulty urinating, blurred vision, dry mouth, enlarged pupils, dry eyes, ringing in the ears, rapid heartbeat, low blood pressure, goodness gracious, pounding heartbeat or palpitations. You would have agitation to your nervous system, coma, would be decreased level of consciousness and lack of responsiveness, seizures, delirium, depression, disorientation, dizziness, drowsiness, hallucinations, nervousness, sleeping difficulties, tremors, uncoordinated movement, and unsteadiness. Your skin would be dry or red or flushed. You would have nausea or vomiting. I mean, it did say coma, but I don't think that you would go to sleep and not wake up. I think that you would not be able to sleep, if I had to guess. Y'all can let me know what you think after I read that out. And that's her medication. Remember, he was searching that sevoflurane medication, which is an anesthetic. That would make more sense as far as going to sleep and not waking up. And for her to get that, that would have to be his. Or I'm assuming maybe used for the poodles. I don't know. Yeah, sevoflurane. I'm wondering if he was able to get it too. It's used in children's hospitals and veterinary clinics, and they have the poodles. So I don't know if he was or not. Oh, really? Well, thank you.
So it doesn't sound like her grades have necessarily declined, but they were never
It's been worse
above
this
D's or
quarter
F's.
since being moved in January to my sixth
Gotcha.
period.
Okay. Has there, and you've only known her for this school year, so it's only been what, 6-7 months?
Yeah.
So you take it, and I know it was to help her sleep. If you were to take too much, would you fall asleep and not wake up, or would it make you over excited or have a lot of energy? The evidence shows she was strangled to death with the major bone broken. Obviously, she didn't do it to herself. I'm with you on this, D, 100%. We're running it through to see, because I think it's going to be his defense.
I guess, has there been any, aside from being moved to your 6th period, has there been any other notable shift in behavior that in your experience might indicate something's happening at home, or in your experience that there's something more going on? Okay. So nothing has kind of raised any red flags with you that there might be something happening.
The only difference is from when she was moved to my 6th, I did notice that the behavior changed, and that's why I
Okay. Yeah, I got it. Any other interaction or involvement with you specifically, or any other conversations?
We've had other conversations about her not passing my class, and hey, she's missing these assignments.
Hey, Kelly.
And what's her what'd she say to that?
Sometimes she'll respond, and sometimes, okay, I'll work with her on it, but...
Okay. It sounds like that's kind of I'm working on it kind of thing, but nothing really definitive.
Correct.
Okay. Has she ever disclosed that anything being abused at home in any way, physically, sexually, verbally?
No.
She's never disclosed or shown any signs of that you've been a teacher for 10 years, so I trust that you can see that kind of stuff, or you have your own way of identifying that. But
I've been a teacher for 13.
Oh, so yeah.
So yeah.
Even more so.
So no, I haven't noticed that.
Gotcha. So nothing that's raised that red flag to you thus far. And there's also, if I'm understanding you right, nothing that's raised a red flag that she's necessarily sad or depressed, but it seems more like she's withdrawn because of her, possibly because she has trouble learning.
That is how I process it.
Well, that's what it appears like to you, right? It would look different otherwise, I guess. Okay. Well, obviously we're out here talking to you.
Okay, so she never talked about the abuse at home. That one had quite a few things I wanted to go over. She never discussed being abused at home. She was sad, often absent, going to counselors, more tired and withdrawn, less focused, not said she was sad at home, hard to tell if she was depressed, not wanted to hurt herself or anyone, quiet, withdrawn, never discussed abuse. Told her 7th period teacher, see you Monday, which is not something people do if they're going to do something like this. Goodness, excuse me. Yeah, they were giving her Adderall for uppers and then hydroxyzine to go to sleep, which it also did not make sense to me either. It seems like, I mean, if I were a doctor, I would say, okay, if you need something for ADHD, I would give her a non-stimulant prescription that wasn't Adderall, because they make those now. So you didn't have to give her the hydroxyzine afterwards. But, you know, I'm by no means a medical professional. That would just be what I would think would happen. Okay, now we're going to listen to the 1st period teacher. We got about 30 seconds in this one to listen to, because they asked these teachers, every single one, was she depressed? Was she showing any signs of anxiety or anything like that? So it's important to go back and listen to these interviews to understand her mood right before everything happened. And they're going to do this in court as well, especially with that appearing to be his defense. So we're going to we're ahead of the game.
Have you seen any signs of depression or suicide?
No.
Suicidal ideation, anything like that? Okay.
I was shocked when the kids were telling me about the live in the woods conversation. I was, no, guys, that's. It was on her phone, but I was shocked to hear something like that. She was very excited about her birthday.
Okay. How are her grades in your class?
Low.
Okay.
She's had a D pretty much every quarter.
Okay, so that was all I had for that one. And this last interview I have is with the counselor. She said that she was not depressed or suicidal and excited about her birthday. Oh, the 3rd period teacher. We got to go through that. All right, what does the 3rd period teacher? 49 seconds through 3:20. This is an... Okay, so let's go to 49. Okay, let's see. I love those pictures too. Michelle said, no young girl should be drugged up like that. I personally don't believe she had ADHD. Jen was mental health obsessed with meds and meds obsessed. She diagnosed everyone. Jen needs to be behind bars. I think it was trauma related. I don't think it was ADHD. Yeah, I want to hear how the defense is going to explain the strangulation and broken hyoid bone too, since they now have to go with this defense, since that's what he's putting out all over the phone. Unless they're going to say that he lied to his parents, which is not something you want to do in court, because then you're coming out the gate saying that your defendant or your client is a liar.
She didn't lie.
Correct. Yeah.
I got it. Okay. Did she ever talk to you about her home life, anything that was going on with her? Anything like that?
No.
She never said anything to you? Did at any point, did she ever disclose any sort of physical or sexual or mental abuse to you?
No.
Okay. Did she mention anything to you about having any suicidal ideations, ever making any attempts at suicide?
No.
Okay. Did she ever express to you at any time if she had any mental or medical diagnosis?
No.
Okay. Did she discuss taking any medications with you for anything?
No, the only time I've ever seen her take anything was Tylenol.
Okay.
In the front office, Michelle could confirm with that too, because we both kind of saw her because we were trying to figure out how to make sure that she was okay to take those.
Okay.
So.
Did you notice any sort of like recent changes in her behavior from the start of the school year until now?
Not really, no. She just seemed happier within the 3rd period class that we were in,
Okay.
which is the advanced treble course I have. She seemed happier there. She learned her music really quickly, as with the rest of the girls in that class.
This is the chorus teacher, the Chomo. Studies have shown that kids with ADHD are linked to anxiety. That's interesting. I would like to know if it showed children that have ADHD that are not on medication are linked to anxiety, or if it could be the medication making the anxiety. That's just me, pondering. Yep, this is the music teacher.
she usually is very participatory. She's usually up performing with us. She doesn't miss a concert. She doesn't miss anything. The only thing I guess I could note is like on Friday she was sitting, but that a lot of the girls sit at random times, and that's related to either they have cramps or whatever. So I didn't think that was odd, but she usually is up and participating and active.
She didn't tell you that anything was wrong on Friday?
No.
Okay, she didn't mention to you that anything had been going on or that she was feeling sad or down or anything like that? Okay. And you haven't, in your opinion, you haven't seen her have any sort of signs that she's been depressed since the beginning of the school year at all, or any suicidal?
Like, she's just seemed pretty normal, very, very happy, easy making her friends. I would say she bloomed a lot more in third because she had her friends there. So she was more outspoken, more confident. She's very helpful in my class. She even organized my piano once because it was all papers on top of it. She put it all together. She wanted to do that. So, that's not noticed anything off about her.
Okay. Now, I don't know how you do your grades or anything like that in your class. Has she declined at all in her participation, like in her grades, anything of that nature that you've noticed?
She maintains pretty steady, and I just grade participation if you're standing and performing and the concerts. So I've not.
Okay, that was all I had for him. He said not sad, not up and participating, but she was very happy and helpful. Fawny said the anxiety comes from trying to behave and fit in, masking. Okay, thank you for that. And Amanda said it's anxiety and non-medicated too. Okay, I could definitely see that. Okay, Gray Moon, I will try to check them. I don't know if I'll be able to because I'm going through and grabbing timestamps and stuff, but I'll definitely check my emails after the live. We're almost done anyway. I didn't have a whole lot today. I just wanted to run this through with you guys and see what we could figure out. Now is the big bombshell interview, kinda in this figuring out Maddie's state of mind and things like that, and that's going to be with the counselor. Okay, that was for the Woody Allen. The way Mia acted I think that's her name, is the way a parent should act. That's hit with something like that, Lori said, I still believe the flatmate that texted Jen about Stephan and Maddie heard or seen more to go on and text Stephanie, but no reply from her. And the detective said they got an anonymous call. Really, I haven't heard all that. I know that she texted Jen and then Jen said thank you, but that's all I know about that. I think you're right about that, but how odd that her daughter, Stephan, and all had mental health problems. Then she said her roommate or son was on the spectrum. All these stepsister. Oh, wow. Hey, Bazard, how are you?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing good. It's good to see you.
Same. I missed out, what was it, yesterday or the day previously from that show. I popped on for a second, then I logged out. I had to take care of something.
Oh, yeah.
This is an interview with the school counselor.
Well, it's good to see you today.
Thank you. Hope you and everyone in chat, especially everyone at Bellis, glad to see you're doing okay. Yeah, just hope everyone's just doing a good day today.
Absolutely. I'm so glad that Bellis is here too.
Yeah, I wanted to pop up for a quick sec. I don't know. I've just been hearing all these different, statements from all these people and on the interviews about what, how Maddie was feeling and doing and saying before then. And then just thinking about, I've been listening from your videos and then other people's videos about the freaking jail calls. And it's like, the only thing I can see the defense really going at, and it's really, excuse my French, but fucked up because it's a dead child that they could basically blame, is trying to imply that, oh, well, Maddie was a teen girl, and you know how teen girls or even boys have secrets that they don't tell their families, and she was depressed, and then I'm assuming that they would try to somehow exclude the CSAM stuff. I mean, I know they still have those emotions that have they even been decided yet, the ones that relate to the CSAM?
I'm not sure. I will check, but
okay.
I don't know. I know they haven't been answered yet that I know of. I think that's what the thing in April's for.
Okay, because it's like the only thing I can see them trying to do is say to the fact that if those emotions were on their side, for the defense side, then yeah, they're just explaining like, oh, she was just depressed, and you know, something just that night she just felt depressed and wanted to take her life. And of course, it's bullshit. But I mean, that's the only thing I could think of, that the route they're trying to go, and it's so, like I said, fucked up that this is what the defense is to go for a dead, murdered 13-year-old girl.
Yeah, and I'm wondering how they're gonna, like you guys have said, how they're gonna explain the broken hyoid bone, and how they're gonna explain basically all of these people saying that, she was a little bit sad here and there, but mainly she was happy, not depressed, not upset, not acting like she was gonna do something. She had just had her birthday party, so it'll be interesting to see where they try to take this.
Well, then the second B plan, I was thinking of, was that they'll just probably go with Jen did it in some way. But then it's still weird that he hasn't said anything yet. Well, unless he says to his lawyers that we don't know of, but it's possibility that he didn't say it on the phone calls with his parents because he knew that everything was being recorded. But
right,
that's the only plan B I can think of. Like, well, then he'll just say Jen did it.
Yeah. Yep. All right, I'm going to play this interview and we'll listen to what the counselor said.
Mental health concerns in terms of a lot of anxiety and panic attacks. So from there, I have been doing ongoing check-ins with her throughout the school year thus far. I think we've met about, I was looking at it earlier, 6 times.
Okay, since the beginning of the school year?
Correct.
Got it, okay.
When she has come to me, it's often been those feelings of panic. She's come to me like in the middle of class or during lunchtime, just feeling really panicked, kind of heavy breathing, feeling really overwhelmed. And when we've had our conversations about, well, what's going on, what's making you feel this way, I've gotten responses saying, well, it's my anxiety. Sometimes I don't know. I'm just really overstimulated with all the noise in the cafeteria. But I've also gotten responses with, well, things at home with her. And when I pressed about that, it seemed to be things along the lines of, well, she gets upset that I'm forgetful or that I don't clean my room the way she wants me to. And we talked about what that does to affect her. And she says, yelling, that makes me get overstimulated and then I can't respond to her in a way that she wants me to. So we discussed strategies for kind of calming herself down and talking. She's calm about how that makes her feel. And she reported to me that she did have that conversation for our past check-in since December. So December, January, February, we had a check-in every single month. And each of those check-ins, she had said to me, things are better at home and things are a little bit better at school. And I haven't had her come to me in months with any sort of panic or anxiety. I did have...
Bad girl, I am so sorry, sweetheart. I'm so sorry to hear that. I hope everything goes okay. I'm so sorry. Lori said Jen could have done it. I wouldn't rule her out and blackmailed him. That's what the parents seem to think. So right now, she says overstimulated, arguing with Jen. But while Stephan was gone, Maddie was doing really good and hadn't been to see her in a while and was not having anxiety and feelings of being overwhelmed.
And that's something I think that the prosecution can use against, the defense claiming if she was depressed and all that bull crap. I mean, she was, but you know what I mean? Like, every time he's not around, she seems to be doing better, classes and more friendlier and outgoing. So correlation, hello.
Right. Exactly. I think that they'll definitely bring that to the forefront. Alex said clean what room? There was no cleaning going on. Exactly. I agree. And there's a lot of evidence, like Darla's been pointing out. There is a lot of evidence to the contrary. I'm so sorry, bad girl. Overstimulated. Jen is having problems with that. She is a grown-ass woman. That is not acceptable. This is a self-regulation thing you learned in kindergarten, for fuck's sake. Talk about arrested development. Yeah. I agree.
Her mention on occasion her home situation at that time was when I asked her about that, the only thing she really said was, I don't really like him. He's kind of weird. So I said, okay, well, what does that mean? How is he weird? Why don't you like him? And her responses were nothing of that level of concern. It was always, well, he eats all of our food and he hangs out in the living room and it makes me uncomfortable because I don't really like him. So I don't want him to be there. But nothing ever to the level of concern that we're seeing now. And the last
See, this would make me question whether she was aware, like if he had drugged her to the extent that she didn't know what was going on, especially considering in a lot of pictures she says that it says that she's asleep. But then you take into account the drawings. She drew herself giving a man, putting a member in her mouth, and then she drew a very graphic picture of an intimate relationship about to happen. Like she drew, I'm not trying to trigger anybody, but she drew veins and everything. So there's no way that she didn't know what was going on. So it's weird to me to hear her say, because again, like I said, it seems like maybe she didn't know what was going on and subconsciously she knew, and that's why she felt something kind of off. But then you have the pictures that she drew.
I've always kind of had the mindset that, like, I'll say this, probably 80 to 90% of the time he drugged the hell out of her, because that's those. I mean, from what we can tell, his only way of getting trigger warning hard and erect is if someone is either playing dead or quote unquote is dead. And the other 10%, I feel like, are the times where this gets me, every time I think about it, gets me angry. Like I want to punch him in the face. Was when the 3-second video?
Yeah.
When she was younger. And I think there were aspects where he did that certain period of time. I mean, it makes more sense when she was younger. I hate to say it makes more, you know what I mean? I say stuff. But anyway, when she was younger, I could see him doing that because most little kids would still not understand what's going on. But when she was getting older, yeah, I think he was drugging her. Like I said, 80 to 90%.
Yeah,
so I feel like
sorry, go ahead.
I just feel like the times that she was lucid and he did abuse her, I think that was when. Well, now this is what I keep saying. The counselor was probably the closest person we can have that she kind of technically was telling something, but she didn't, fully say it. But I mean, she's saying he's just weird, and she just had a weird feeling about him. But she couldn't explain it all the way.
Yeah, and I forgot about that video. She was obviously awake during that 3-second game video because he was telling her to watch cartoons. She would have to do that horrible thing.
Asshole. Yeah. Oh God, I want to punch him so bad.
I do too. Thinking that kids sleep through abuse is a way for adults to comfort themselves. That's a good point. Siesta.
Last thing I heard about him was he's moving out. I'm happy about that. And that's helping me feel better with home.
When was that conversation that he was moving out?
That was about a couple of months ago. So I would say around December.
Okay. So sometime in December, you guys had a meeting and she said, okay, got it. Did she ever mention anything to you about having depression or like suicidal thoughts or any suicidal attempts or anything like that?
She never mentioned anything along those lines. It was always more so focused on the anxiety and the panic.
Okay.
And a lot of times she wasn't able to verbally articulate what exactly was making that panic arise beyond feeling overstimulated or just not knowing.
Okay. So she never mentioned to you about wanting to hurt herself, wanting to die, wanting to, nothing like that.
She never mentioned wanting to harm herself or wanting to die. She made comments in the interactions where she was feeling panicky, saying things more so like, this hurts and I don't like this or want to deal with this, but it was never anything like I want to hurt myself or end my life or anything along those lines.
Gotcha. Okay. And she didn't disclose that she was taking medication for anything other than just the anxiety or for the ADHD and the anxiety.
I didn't talk to her specifically about medication, and I can't recall what was said. It would be in the ESC meeting notes if it was discussed that she was or wasn't on medication.
And she has an IEP, you said, correct? So she switched from the 504 to the IEP.
Yes.
Gotcha. Cool. Okay. Did she mention anything? just didn't like him because he ate their food and he was in their living room? Like, did she say anything else to you? Disclose anything to you?
She did not. She didn't talk about.
It's redacted.
Mm-hmm.
I've got the next timestamp is 6:35 through 9:58. So we'll go ahead and jump to 6:35.
Oh, I have something else I was going to ask you, Alleged. Do you think, what was it, Siesta Soto? Siesta Soto now? Is it possible that she has that? I'm not going to say it's a crazy medical condition. I mean, it does affect people, but the one where they believe in various different health issues, and that would explain why Jen was such
hypochondriac,
yeah,
I think.
I believe that's that. I know it's like another word for it too, but is it possible that she could have that, and that could explain why she was over medicated? I mean, from all the stuff I keep hearing, like this is insane medication for, you know, a little girl to be taking at such a young age.
Well, I mean, honestly, I don't like the fact that that she's taking an upper and then a downer to go to sleep. But unfortunately, or however, I shouldn't say unfortunately, I don't do the medications, but it works for children. So it's actually, I would think it's normal for a child to be on Adderall, maybe not necessarily hydroxyzine, but children are actually, unfortunately, on a lot more medications than that. I don't think that Jen was a hypochondriac, because if she was, like when Maddie was constipated, she would have went to the doctor and took her to the hospital. When she got a cut on her wrist, she might would have took her to the doctor. We're going to look at symptoms real quick. Symptoms of hypochondriacs. Okay, hypochondriasis, not now known as illness anxiety disorder, is characterized by excessive worry about having or developing a serious illness despite medical reassurance, and can significantly impact daily life. They have a persistent and excessive focus on one's health and the possibility of having a serious illness. Unrealistic fear of illness, an exaggerated or irrational fear of having or developing a serious medical condition, even when there's no evidence to support it. Normal bodily sensations or minor symptoms are interpreted as signs of a serious illness. Even after receiving reassurance from medical professionals, individuals with this illness anxiety disorder may remain unconvinced that they are healthy or that their concerns are unfounded. They engage in behaviors like frequent self-examination, excessive internet searches for medical information, or repeatedly seeking reassurance from others. Other common symptoms are fear of potentially contracting an illness can lead to avoidance of social situations or places where they might be exposed to germs, repeatedly seeking medical attention for reassurance to rule out potential illness even when there are no clear symptoms. The constant worry and anxiety can interfere with daily activities, work, relationships, and overall quality of life. The excessive worry and fear associated with hypochondriasis can lead to significant anxiety and distress. Some individuals may focus on specific diseases like cancer or body parts, heart, or become preoccupied with them. The constant worry and anxiety can disrupt sleep patterns, and concerns about health can lead to difficulties in maintaining relationship, work performance, and social interactions. So me personally, I don't think she had that. I think she was in the mindset of believing. I heard somebody say to me one time, she said, there's people in the world that need to be medicated. And then there's people that are medicated, basically meaning that everybody needs to be medicated. I'm not of that belief system at all. I don't believe in taking medications, but if I had to characterize Jen Soto, it would be that she's in the belief that everybody needs to be on medication for something. Everybody has some kind of disorder. But that would be as far as I would think. What do you think?
I'm just looking at what Tanta, was it Tanta 87? She said she could have had Martian syndrome. I know what it is.
Munchausen by proxy.
See, maybe that's what I was thinking of too. But even with the hypochondriac thing, there's certain things that it kind of relates to Jen to a degree, but it could be the other one.
Okay, let's look that up.
It to me just seems like she overplayed the aspects that maybe Maddie did possibly have some form of autism, or she was possibly on the spectrum. But there's just something about the way Jen over exaggerated stuff, and then the medication to a degree. Like for me, it just seems a little weird. That's how I take it.
Right. Let's see. Okay, Munchausen syndrome by proxy. I guess we'll go here and read it. Okay, so Munchausen syndrome by proxy is a mental illness and a form of child abuse. The caretaker of a child, most often a mother, either makes up fake symptoms or causes real symptoms to make it look like the child is sick. Causes. No one is sure what causes Munchausen syndrome by proxy. Sometimes the person was abused as a child or has Munchausen syndrome, fake illness for themselves. The caretaker can do extreme things like fake symptoms or illness for the child. For example, the caretaker might add blood to the child's urine or stool, withhold food so the child looks like they can't gain weight, heat up thermometers so it looks like the child has a fever, make up lab results, give the child drugs to make the child throw up or have diarrhea, infect an intravenous line to make infect basically an IV to make the child look sick. What are signs in a caretaker? Most people with this problem are mothers with small children. Some are adult children taking care of an older parent. The caretakers often work in healthcare and know a lot about medical care. They can describe the child's symptoms in great medical detail. They like to be very involved with the healthcare team and are liked by the staff for the care they give the child. The caretakers are also very involved with their children. They seem devoted to the child. This makes it hard for health professionals to see a diagnosis for Munchausen syndrome by proxy. So that reminds me more of the Gypsy Rose, but I think you said Munchausen as in her. So let's look that up. Munchausen by proxy would be the Gypsy Rose is the poster child for Munchausen by proxy.
Yep.
If anything, I would think that she's not concerned about her medical care as much. Because, I don't know. I feel like she would have known she was being abused or something to that effect. She was trying to get free. So more diagnosis is the more money. Yeah.
That's what I was kind of thinking. Jen just come off as someone that always wanted quick money real fast. Like that's why it's like, I guess it does make sense of her and Stearns, unfortunately, with two peas in a pod, where it's like they just look for stuff to get quick money.
Right. Peach said, I think Jen Soto faked or something, all these disorders, so she could collect the SSI payments for herself and Maddie because she was too lazy to get a job. That would make more sense to me. So Munchausen syndrome, also known as a fictitious disorder, is a mental health condition where a person intentionally creates or exaggerates physical or psychological symptoms to gain attention or sympathy. That makes, I could see it.
Yeah.
So physical symptoms are frequent medical visits and hospitalizations, unexplained or inconsistent medical conditions, self-inflicted injuries such as cuts, burns, or injections, exaggerated or fabricated symptoms such as seizures, chest pain, or fainting. Psychological symptoms are pretending to have mental health conditions such as hallucinations or delusions, claiming to have a history of trauma or abuse, seeking attention and sympathy from healthcare professionals. Behavioral patterns are tampering with medical tests or results, giving false medical histories, resisting treatment or refusing to follow medical advice, having an extensive knowledge of medical conditions, being overly friendly or charming with healthcare professionals. So I don't know. It says Munchausen syndrome can also manifest in children, known as Munchausen syndrome by proxy. Symptoms may vary depending on the individual and specific symptoms they choose to fabricate. It can be difficult to diagnose Munchausen syndrome as patients are often skilled at manipulating healthcare professionals. So I don't know. I could definitely see Jen Soto trying to get the money from the system, the SSI stuff. I could definitely see her doing that. But the other things, like with her going to the mental health facility or places like that, I think it might be legitimate. Maybe not necessarily anxiety, but she feels like she has anxiety. I mean, I'm not, if I didn't know, if I legitimately had no idea that my child was being abused, I would be in a mental institution after finding out something like that. But I would probably be in a mental institution for the criminally insane because I would have killed that motherfucker.
See, that's where, yeah, it's like, I've had arguments with people that I discuss outside of, YouTube and everything about this case. And it's like, they'll say, well, maybe she just honestly didn't know. I'm like, well, it just seems bizarre that out of all these cases that we've seen, every true crime person, that we've seen videos on YouTube or TV where the family member or someone discovered a child or a child under care was abused, they would either legitimately show they're upset if they, didn't commit the crime or they were involved, but, they pretend to be upset and angry. But it's just like, in every case that I've seen this, it's like, no, she's showing signs of someone that even if they didn't kill a child, they knew something was going on and then they'll cover it up. I mean, she shows all those signs, and I still don't know where this state attorney was like, we'll give you half shit immunity. But then I'm still speechless. Like, well, why would you give her that if seasoned detectives, or at least the one that I like, the one that had the green pants and black top, how he was telling her about all the weirdness and the sleeping arrangement, and it was like he was right. She's showing signs of someone that was involved in something.
Yeah, I think it's I think it's more so that she's involved in something and she's playing the system more than she actually has a legitimate disorder. She might legitimately have anxiety and panic attacks and things like that, but I don't see anything else too out of the ordinary. As far as she might, either she knew about the trauma or she didn't, but either way, knew about the abuse or she didn't, but either way, I think Maddie was showing signs of trauma, which was misinterpreted as ADHD. And so she got medication for that. I think she was basically not under medicating, but like not paying enough medical attention to Maddie, because if she had paid more attention, Maddie, this abuse would have been known years ago by a doctor or something.
Yeah. I guess the certain aspects between either one of these conditions, I saw like, okay, that kind of makes me agree the way she acts. I just thought it was interesting that was just something I had in mind, like that. Jen just comes off as this person that comes off as someone that says she has all these medical issues, and maybe she does to a degree, but then she's like hyping it up,
Yeah, you're cutting in and out, but I caught most of that. Yeah, I think it's possible. Could she have what we call malingering? Okay, let me see. I'm going to play the last 3 minutes of this interview, and then we'll look up malingering. How do you spell it? MALINGERING. All right, so we'll watch the last 3 minutes of this interview, and then we'll talk about what we found. We'll look up malingering, and then we'll talk about what we figured out about this defense.
Okay, did you ever see, I know we talked about like the anxiety and the panic attacks, and you said she never, mentioned anything about being depressed or being suicidal or anything. Did you ever see her exhibit any of those behaviors, like that she is depressed, or that she, like, did you notice anything about her that was out of the ordinary other than the things we've already talked about?
It seemed more so to be very up and down.
Okay.
Like she would have those heightened moments of the panic and the crying, and just kind of, she would go from that to just like shutting down after the panic. And then if you talked her through it a little bit, like there's one specific instance in my statement that she could not say what was making her feel that way. And so I asked her to draw it out, and she was able to do that.
Okay.
And then she kind of put on there just like a lot of scribbles, which to her, she said that meant just like the chaos of all the feelings and thoughts that she's having that make her feel overwhelmed. And then words she wrote. So things along the lines of like, why or crying and things like that. And after that happened, I reached out that she wasn't at school for a couple days. So I was like concerned of, okay, we went from this to now being out. What is happening? I reached out, and at that point, he's been struggling lately, a lot of tears and feelings, but that she was seeing a weekly therapist.
Okay.
So she supposedly had someone that she was seeing weekly about all of this.
Okay.
And also stated at that point she hadn't been at school because she was sick and she was going to take her to the doctor that day. And she mentioned seeing the drawing that from our conversation, and I, encouraged her to share that with mom, so she did. And she said that she appreciated that and that helped her in that day, which at the end of that conversation with her, she was able to calm down and feel better. But at that point, that's when it got a little concerning, to the point that I reached out to mom just to say, hey, what's going on? And found out, okay, she at least has supposedly weekly therapy sessions outside of school.
And most of these things you said that would trigger these panic attacks or these anxiety inducing issues were because of issues that were going on with them, correct? Like where she would argue with.
Seemed to be a combination of bringing that from home, the arguments and the feeling like she's taking on those feelings at home of, I don't feel safe in terms of not necessarily physically safe, but emotionally safe, that at me and causing me to feel overstimulated. And then I come to school and it's loud and there's lots of kids and I'm overstimulated again.
But it wasn't. It's usually
and things she said along the lines of, my room's not clean, or you forget to do this, or you don't do that. So to me, that's like things about it was never,
especially at that age, with the teenage age, Okay,
that was the end of that interview. So basically, she's a normal teenager having arguments with her mother. Okay, let's look up. Oh, Abellis. Oh my goodness. Oh, it didn't scroll down. Thank you for gifting 20 memberships. That was so very sweet and supportive of you. Oh my goodness, thank you. You shouldn't be doing that. Not when you just got back from sick. I should be giving you gifts. Thank you, Abellis. That was way up. I was looking at my notebook and writing it down. Those went to Eukilis, Joe, Kimberly, Cheshik, Kayla, Truth Seeker, Pamela, Cop Wife, Cop Mom, Brando, the Bandit, Lori Lou, Journey Marie, April Epley, Patricia Furo, Just Me, plus Shrimp. I think that was everybody that was gifted. Thank you so much, Abellis, for that. That was so very sweet and supportive of you. And I will come pick y'all up on the Polar Express on the way to Speculation Station. Thank you so much, Abellis. That was so sweet. My goodness. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to look up that malingering that Dr. Vana said. It's good to see you, Dr. Vana. Okay. And then we'll talk about what we figured out about his defense. Okay. So let's see.
It's probably bullshit, but
yeah. Malingering. I think it's probably going to give me the definition. Oh, okay. So malingering is the intentional fabrication or exaggeration of physical or psychological symptoms for an external gain, such as avoiding work and obtaining compensation or avoiding criminal responsibility. That definitely fits.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Oh, well, yeah, that's like, wow. That does explain a lot with Jen.
Yeah, the characteristics are deliberate and intentional behavior, fabricated or exaggeration of symptoms, motivated by external gain, may involve multiple symptoms or disorders, can be difficult to detect as individuals may be skilled at mimicking symptoms. Examples are feigning back injury to avoid work, exaggerating pain to obtain compensation, claiming mental illness to avoid military service. The prevalence of malingering is difficult to determine as it is underreported. However, it is estimated to be more common in certain settings, such as workers' compensation claims, legal proceedings, and healthcare systems. The diagnosing malingering can be challenging and requires a thorough evaluation by a healthcare professional. This may include medical history and physical examination, psychological assessment, review of collateral information like from employers or witnesses. The treatment for malingering typically focuses on addressing the underlying motivations and providing support to help the individual make healthier choices. This may include psychotherapy, medication management if an underlying mental health condition is present, and legal interventions if necessary. It is important to note that malingering is a serious issue that can have legal and ethical implications. If you suspect that someone is malingering, it is essential to consult with a qualified healthcare professional or legal advisor. That makes a lot of sense. I could definitely see that.
Wow. And they explain all the interactions and interviews, things you said. I mean, I've always just thought that it was a anyway and a narcissist, but this could help.
You're breaking up real bad. Like I can only catch parts of what you're saying, sweetheart. I'm sorry. Oh my God, Abellis.
Is it good now?
It's better, but it's still cutting out.
Okay. It just could be where I'm at. I'm outside.
Okay. So real quick, we'll go over what we learned. Abellis, I'm so sorry that happened to you. That is horrible. Excuse me. Okay. So Stephan said he found her and she was unresponsive. She was drugged or took meds herself. And then in another interview, he said her lips were blue. She was ice cold and pale. Okay. So what we learned from everybody around her, her friend said she was happy and talking to a boy. She was upset that mom wasn't at the party. Fourth period teacher said not depressed, irritable, wanted to see the counselor sometimes. Grandpa said she was happy and she was with friends and they played at the birthday party and she was dropped off at 8:30. Bestie said she was irritable, upset mom was absent, upset in general, and upset there was not a lot of gifts. Seventh period teacher said that she said, see you Monday, which is not something somebody that's thinking about things like that is going to do. Also, she was asking about the MPA thing with the friend. Sixth period said she was sad, often absent, going to counselor, more tired, withdrawn, less focused, not sad, said she was sad at home, hard to tell if she was depressed, not wanting to hurt herself or anyone, quiet, withdrawn, never discussed abuse. First period said not depressed or suicidal, excited about the birthday. Third period said not sad, up and participating, very happy and helpful. And the counselor said overstimulated, arguing with Jen, happy Stephan was gone, no anxiety, feeling better, Stephan's moving, never said wanted to do something to herself. She did say, this hurts, I don't like this. When she was drawing her feelings of chaos and thoughts and feelings of panic, she was seeing a weekly therapist. Jen and Maddie were arguing a lot. And she wrote, why crying, and was overstimulated. That to me sounds like a child dealing with a lot of trauma, not a child that wants to do something to herself, in my opinion.
That's what it comes down to. It might be. Let me know if my voice is echoing right now. I had to put on speaker. Maybe it's. I hope it's not bad.
It's still cutting out pretty bad. But it's okay because I'm getting ready to. We're gonna go in just a second anyway. Well, I don't know if it'll cut out or not, but what do you think about all of this?
Hopefully it won't be bad. I'll just be quick. I think this fence is going to be shitty. fuck Stearns, and I think I agree that Maddie is showing signs of a traumatized young girl for years being abused by an asshole who's gonna get it in the end.
Okay, so in case you couldn't understand, Bazzer said F. Stearns, and he thinks Maddie was showing signs of a traumatized young girl, and that Stephan's going to get it in the end. That's what I caught.
Yes.
All right. I hope so.
Mm-hmm.
I hope so. Mad Monkey said, but the fact Maddie called her mom the B word and straight up called her out being a crappy mom, why did they not investigate that a little further? That's a good point. I mean, they might look at it as normal teenagers fighting with their mothers like a lot of people did, and not know that it was necessarily abuse. Yeah. There was a lot of abuse going on that was unfortunately not seen until it was too late.
I'll say one more thing, and I know probably bring up. I think this also explains that Jen, like I keep saying, was most likely emotionally and verbally abusing Maddie, along with Stern's stinking ass,
Yeah, in case anybody couldn't catch that, she said, I think this all shows that, Bazzer said, I think this all shows that Jen was mentally and verbally abusing Maddie along with Stern's stinky ass. Oh, Lily Gal, I'm sorry I missed you. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go for today. I do want to thank you all for being here with us. Thank you, Bazard, for coming up. Lily Gal, I'm sorry I missed you. If you email me, or I'll be back, we'll be back live tomorrow, and I'll drop the link again if you want to come up. Tomorrow, we're going to go through the interviews with Stephan's parents and see what their thoughts are after these phone calls, and we're going to kind of go down that road a little bit. That's what I have planned as of right now. It could change, so watch out. Or keep an eye on that. Tony, are you okay? I hope you're okay. And I'm so sorry for everything everybody's going through. I do want to let you know that I love you all, and that you are special, and that you are important. And I want you to hug your children and hug the babies, and I'll definitely see y'all tomorrow. Bazard, I hope you have a good day at work if you're going to work.
Off today, but I will be going tomorrow, pick up a shift, and then the rest of the week work.
Okay, well, enjoy your time off.
I know, right? But thank you. I appreciate you allowing me to be on, and I hate that I'm having volume issues, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Thank you for coming up there.
Oh yeah, no problem. I'm gonna try one of these days. Just do my laptop. I've just never been a computer guy. I just use my phone as a computer anyway. But I'll try my laptop whenever you're on live and go from there. It should be better by then.
Okay. All right, sounds good.
But take care.
You too.
Bye.
Bye. I see what y'all are saying. Thank you for saying rest in peace, Maddie. I hope that she is resting in peace, and we'll definitely discuss all of this some more tomorrow. Again, thank you everybody for being here and being with us today. Oh, okay. Again, you are special, you are important, and you are loved. And if you ever need to talk, you can feel free to email me, and we'll be back tomorrow. All of you that are going through things, I'm so sorry, and I will keep you guys in my prayers every single night. I really do have a fondness for our conversations and what we do here every day. I think we learn a lot from each other, and I really enjoy the conversations. And with that, I hope y'all have a good night. Bye.
Listen up, I gotta tell you, there is something you should know.